Hi, chat. Oh, my mic, my direct monitor is not on. Hello, welcome. I'm getting warnings that on the stream that there was no audio coming. The audio bitrate was 0, which is to be expected because I had everything muted. How's it going? I bet some of you here are wondering what the hell am I doing with a live stream on a week where a new episode of Gemology or whatever hasn't come out. And what I'm going to do here, it's been 10 years since I started like really taking YouTube seriously. And I wanted to just kind of go through a lot of my back catalog. I did get bored, yeah. I wanted to go through a lot of old videos that I had, and I just kind of want to watch them with chat and just like discuss them. I think it would be fun. Will we watch Steven Universe the movie? No, because I'll get fucking copyright claimed for that. But yeah, I'm just gonna... I just wanted to do this. I don't know how long I want to stream this, but sometimes I just like to go watch old videos of mine, and what do you call it? I feel like I want to do that with like a chat to like discuss things. I would have to do it on Discord. If I watch the movie, I might, whenever I get to that point in Gemology, when I get really close to the end of season 5 of the original show, I may do a movie night on Discord. Kind of neat. Interesting as a new viewer who came in via Gemology. Crystal Sins? Oh, maybe we'll start out with the first episode of Crystal Sins just to see like how far I've progressed with like how awful my videos were when I like started. I'm not gonna... Here's the thing. There's a lot of videos. There's probably maybe like 3 years of videos that I privated because they're all just like junky fucking random recordings of video games that I uploaded. So we're actually gonna start basically when like of all the public videos. Maybe, you know what? I'll just do the very first... I can do this. Let me get... Can I just do... There we go. We're looking at the analytics here. I'm going to look at some of the content. I have it sorted newest. Let me hide the sidebar just so we can have... Oh yeah, this is Zen browser. If you like compact browsers. We're going to look at the very, very, very first video that's public on my channel. Not the very first video on the channel itself, but this is the first video that I kept public because it was the first video that reached 1,000 views, and it was very relevant until what do you call it? Until goddamn... I forgot what I was saying. I started reading chat. Until Half-Life Alyx came out. That's what I was going to say. Okay. 2020, when Half-Life Alyx came out, and then I added outdated to this title. Okay, we're just going to watch Half-Life Fans in a Nutshell. Very simple video. One of my first delves into actually editing something. Oh, I don't have desktop audio. Let me redo that.
More.
There aren't any more, and there never will be.
More. 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 More.
There we go. That's it. It's simple. It's Half-Life Fans in a Nutshell, because people have been waiting for Half-Life games for like 18 years. Oh, I think it's 18 years now, maybe. Half-Life 3 hasn't come out yet. There's always rumors. There's always random bullshit. that you hear about, it's accurate. It's still kind of accurate. We got a new game when still waiting for the third. A little bit, yeah. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna close this one. We're gonna go. I remember hearing Crystal Sins. So Crystal Sins, if anyone doesn't know, was it's a Cinema Sins parody that I made when was this, 2015? So I would have been in high school. It would have been I would have been a sophomore in high school during this. So I found this void. I decided nobody was doing what do you call it? I'll do should I do captions? Can I may have to do this. Nobody was doing a Cinema Sins thing of Steven Universe. So I was like, it was a point, I can tell you when I came up with this idea. I was watching, there's a guy who did Cinema Sins, or what do you call it? Cinema Sins style videos of My Little Pony, which I watched when I was younger. And one of those, and an episode of Steven Universe came out in the same day. And I decided, wait, why don't I just do this for Steven Universe? There's actually another guy who did it. I was the first, if you believe it or not. I actually, this came out, I actually knew who Supersonic was. I've talked to him a couple times. This came out 10 years ago, June 24, 2015. If you go on the first episode of his, in the description, it's like inspired by SourceMaster. So yeah, I was the first, believe it or not. And then I abandoned it because I didn't like the formula anymore. Okay, you ready to watch? We're gonna watch it. I'll pause it at certain points. Ready. Oh, wait, I'll move the captions. I'll move them here because there's also captions here. This is also one of my first times editing in Adobe Premiere. And you'll notice the awful mic quality, and that's probably why there's so many dislikes.
This has to be a dream cliché. We're off to a good start for a first episode.
Get off me, man. I'm stuck in here.
Lars is a dick to Steven.
Stop making cookie cats!
Tough bits, man. Nobody buys them anymore.
Lars is right.
Kids these days.
Kids these days.
Yeah, all my ears. Yeah, I can turn it down a little bit.
Muffin top. Steven doesn't see the centipedal through the screen door. The crystal gems are introduced in the best method possible. There are 4 centipedals in this shot, but in the next shot there is only 1. Amethyst picks her nose. Steven gets upset over spilled milk.
I don't think I watched a single Crystal Sin. This is probably the only one. You know what? We'll watch this one, and then we'll watch, it's topical. Ocean Gem was my favorite episode of Crystal Sins that I did, so we'll watch that one.
And since they're your favorite, we went out and stole a bunch.
Theft.
I went back and
You'll notice how You'll notice how incredibly insightful my writing was back during this time when I was younger.
Lucky. This also brings up the question, where did the crystal gems get the money to pay for things like this? Steven sings an 80s style rap about a food product most likely played on commercials between cartoons. Kids these days. This face.
oh, I'll go first.
Pearl Mom.
With hard work and dedication.
Pearl is
I'm cringing. I'm cringing hard. It matches the style, yeah, but it's recorded on ice cream freezer. You know what it is? I would demonstrate, but I don't want to blow everybody's eardrums out. What I was doing, I'm using a microphone my dad actually has the microphone I used to record this. I got way too close. And I had the gain up really high, and I didn't know anything about, like, microphones at the time, so I just recorded it all, and then it was all shit, and I'm like, oh, damn. And I didn't decide to, How old is this video? This is 10 years old. Yeah, I didn't decide to re-record it because I didn't know anything about video editing and audio editing and fucking all that at the time. Yeah, it sounds like I don't want to live in this video a little bit. It's before I've gained any sort of confidence. I was like deep-throating the mic during this video. Yeah.
Steven can stay focused.
Did Pearl tell you the pedal thing?
Pearl has attempted to teach Amethyst using the same method.
Wherever I need to summon my weapon, it just happens.
Amethyst didn't need her weapon in this situation. Property damage. This is Amethyst's second crime this episode.
Again?
This has happened before.
You can link your mind with the energy of all existing matter.
I was just looking at my shitty videos from when I was like 13 yesterday, so I feel ya. I every so often I go back to these, and some things I like, and some things, like, just the audio quality is fucking awful. I prefer Gemology, I agree. I'm glad that Gemology took off again, and I could kind of pick up where I left off from this. The audio quality sounds like Amethyst Solo and Disobedient. It's just oh, this video actually has that, like, Pornhub thing. I mean, the like most replayed thing. There's like no videos. This is also I should mention, this is my most viewed video on the channel as well, because people ended up, it's 84,000 views. Huh? What did I say? Pornhub. What? This is my first reaction to it. I tell people not to come to this because I don't like the what thing? Yeah. It's the graph that shows where people watch. YouTube stole it from Pornhub. That it'll always be the Pornhub thing in my mind. If your first exposure to the graph of the most replayed things is YouTube, then you're too young. How do you know that? How do you not know that? Everyone, like, I don't know if you're around when YouTube fucking did this, and everyone's like, they did the thing from Pornhub. I think a lot of video services do that. Yeah, a lot of video services are also porn websites. Okay, we're continuing.
I'm no gem, but to me this sounds like the most reliable method of summoning a weapon.
And you're fun to have around, even if your gem is useless.
Amethyst is right. Steven has eaten cookie cats before, so why does his shield appear this time?
I also, there's people in this comment section. I don't get comments on this video anymore. But there were people who take my commentary on this video, like, as if I'm doing a serious critique. Like, they don't get that it's a parody, even though it says parody in the title. And they think like, oh, Steven's eaten cookie cats before. Why is it work this time? It's like, well, that's not. I know it's not insightful commentary, but it's not supposed to be insightful commentary. It's supposed to be like a vertical slice of random bullshit that is, like, wrong in the episode. I don't know. That's a common thing with CinemaSins 2, I believe. Yeah, yes. That sounds about right. Some people don't get sarcasm online. That's surprising when I'm, like, actually talking. I don't know. I'm very dry in this video. I'm very dry in my someone go comment on the video. I'm very dry in Gemology as well, I think, but I feel like I'm much more insightful.
Pearl forgets what Rose Quartz had for a weapon.
Oh, what? I get a shield?
Yay, now I can hide behind it and continue being useless during fights. Looks like Amethyst.
That was also back in the day when This was before, like, a lot of episodes of Steven Universe came out. 2015, mind you. This is before Season 2. This is around the same time as Ocean Gem. When did Ocean Gem come out? Hold on, I have the tab pulled up. We're looking... This came out... It was 2015. Oh, this was right at the beginning of season 2. Okay, that makes sense.
This is going to have to steal a new TV for Steven.
I summoned my weapon by eating ice cream!
Steven assumes this works. The gems can't take care of the centipedal.
That was a bad... Listen to that line read. I can talk shit about line reads in the actual show because I've done my fair share of bad line reads. I feel old. Yeah, 10 years ago. Imagine.
We could really use Steven's shield right about now.
You could also really use your own weapons right about now.
Cookie Cat Crystal Combo Powers? Activate!
Wait, when did this show turn into a bad anime?
We need to save Steven. Can we save ourselves first?
Amethyst is selfish. It didn't work the first time, so why
Bald.
is Steven still trying to eat the cookie cats? Also, if those ice cream sandwiches are anywhere near as popular as Twinkies, they would be worth hundreds of dollars each in a cup.
This was back when... I don't know if any of you remember when, like, Hostess went bankrupt or whatever, and everyone was, like, panic buying Twinkies because they thought they were going to be gone forever until they bought... It was very of the time, you know? It was very topical. I remember when Twinkies were stopped being sold. Yeah, it was weird. It was, I can see why you don't like these videos. Yeah. It's, first of all, this one had the bad audio. There was maybe one other one with bad audio, but the rest of them were fine because I actually learned how to use them. No offense, none taken. These videos suck. I got yelled at for eating someone's stored Twinkies because I had no idea.
Couple of weeks. Steven could have become a millionaire if he didn't eat all of them. Garnet's fingers could have been sliced off in this situation. Again, Steven could have sold this freezer for a lot of money if he just left it inside. Steven doesn't get severely injured by this. See, that was probably more than 120 volts going through that thing.
Gems, weapons.
Only now.
Appreciate the effort you put into them. These took a lot more editing and shit than Gemology. Gemology is pretty much, it's just a little bit less because I don't have to do like the sin counter in the subtitles. Hostess cupcakes are peak though. I haven't had one of those in forever. Making me hungry. I didn't have a lot to eat today. So, I'm a little bit hungry, so it's if I start talking about food, I will talk about food for like an hour straight. Anyway.
How do the gems decide to fight the centipedal? The gems decide to hide behind this hand rock again just to make a dramatic entrance. That shockwave should have severely damaged, if not destroyed, many of the buildings in Beach City. That mound of sand will probably get immediately washed away in the next rainstorm.
Well, I guess your powers don't come from ice cream.
Dog nut? Oh yeah, I gotta make the dog nut.
I was gonna say that. This leaf is improperly layered.
42. And people, I did the discontinued thing, and people were like, "Yeah, you can't discontinue the show. That's rude." Oh, anyway, that video sucks. I'm glad we got it out of the way because I'm not gonna do any more Crystal Sins. Peak, true. Let's see. We're gonna check out. Let's see my favorite episode of Crystal Sins now. Maybe. Love the SourceMaster lore. We're going through all the lore. All 134 public videos on my channel. We're not gonna watch the whole thing. But this one was one of my favorites to make. It's one of the least... This is the video that still gets the most views to this day. If I stop uploading, this video will continue getting views forever. We're watching all of the vids? No. God, no. That would take days. Maybe not days. It would take like a whole day to get through everything. I'm picking and choosing. If anyone finds a video that they really want me to take a look at, let me know. Maybe link it. Actually, don't link it. Just tell me the title because I'll be able to find it. I dislike Undertale, yeah. This was a long time ago though, so I had an idea at some point to replay it and make a follow-up to this video and see if I still dislike it. I don't know. Ocean Gem only has 2 sins? Well, let's find out. Also, look at this. Hold on. I gotta pull up this thumbnail again. Can I... My thumbnail game back in the day was on point. It was fucking amazing. Can I open the image in a new tab? New background tab. What does that mean? Look at this thumbnail, dude. I was a master at thumbnails back in the day. This is fucking crazy. Anyway. Ugh. We can close the Gem Glow one.
I'm gonna bring the ocean back or get really thirsty.
My editing got a lot better between... This was... When was this? This was like 3 years... Like 2.5 years after that one video we just watched. A master of the source variety, indeed. I would have eaten this stuff up in 2015. People did. I enjoyed... You know what? I look back at these videos and I don't like rewatching them, but I do remember enjoying making them. I loved actually, like... It's the same thing I'm doing now, is just going through the episode. It's kind of like letting everyone rewatch the show at the same time as me. It's fun. I remember liking making these. I remember enjoying the comments they got, but I hated the format, which is why I decided to do Gemology, where I don't have a format. I just talk about the show. It's fun.
Bury you till you've learned your lesson.
This episode starts out with one of the worst jokes in the series. Oh, wait.
You guys better come check this out.
You'd better come check this out, cliché.
What's going on here?
The ocean is gone, obviously.
Garnet would be great at crystal sins. This giant fucking sword is still never... I was talking about the giant sword way back in the day. Question for Gemology, are you doing the intended order or the release order? I mentioned it one time. I'll probably say it again when I get to it. I'm doing the intended order because there's shit that happens out of order. Like the Uncle Grandpa episode happens in, like, it aired in season 2 and like Garnet has her old design and stuff. It's yeah. I don't know. My cat showed up. What do you want, kitty? Mentioned. Also, Funland is missing.
No one wants to take a vacation to Desert City!
It doesn't seem like people vacation here very often anyway, seeing that there are no hotels. What's the cat's name? His name is Steve, unrelated to this TV show.
Lazuli.
The ability to steal the entire ocean sounds like some overpowered magic bullshit to me.
She's the gem you released from the mirror.
Just in case you weren't paying attention last episode. I make a lot of the same points. I'll get to a point where I've gotten past all of the Crystal Sins videos that I made. But I look back and I realize how many... I don't actually watch my episode of Crystal Sins before making an episode of Gemology. But then when I do look back, I realize how many points that I make that are like the same, you know?
There's a lot you don't know about gems, Steven.
Pearl doesn't explain anything because reasons.
I'm gonna bring the ocean back or get really thirsty trying.
You can't say die in a kids show.
You're ungrounded, by the way.
But why? Filling the ocean with fresh water. Also, where the hell is this hose connected? This CD player already has a disc in it, according to the LCD. This far out, the van definitely should have run out of gas. Also, how does Greg expect to be getting the van back to Beach City? Also, how do any of them know they're going in the right direction to find Lapis Lazuli? Nobody saw this tower of water extending into the fucking thermosphere the entire way here. Oh yeah, I did some math for this video. We'll get to it. I lost my work on the math that I did for this video. I put way too much effort into these. I will be entirely honest. Well, I'll be honest. I will also say I'm gonna put a lot of effort into a future video that I'm gonna be working on. It's actually the next video that I need to make. Which is Space Race. The house guest video is on Patreon now if you are not a patron. That is already up there. Next episode after that is Space Race, and I want to do a fluid dynamic simulation on on Pearl's rocket. I'll see if I can pull that off. What are we watching today? We're going through a lot of my old videos just for fun. Space Race is an interesting episode. Space Race is an episode that it's one of the reasons why I wanted to do Gemology in the first place, because there's still shit. It's me going back, rewatching the show and noticing shit that I never noticed when I watched it previous times. And there's a couple, maybe one or two things in that episode that I noticed. I'm like, man, I should tell people about this one and make it a video. So that's one of the that episode is one of the reasons I'm even making Gemology at all. It'll be good. It'll be awesome.
That's some magical destiny stuff right there.
There's your trailer line. Most of these fish should be dead from this. Fish genocide. I said it again. Overlapping things from back when I made this and when I made the Gemology episode on this is fish genocide. Ocean sunfish. Giant magical head cliche. This is even more bullshit and overpowered magic than I originally thought. Ruh-roh Raggy. Get it? Because she was a mirror and now she's still mirroring stuff? Because symbolism? The van literally dies. Oh, sorry. Greg survives this. Shield Ex Machina. The shield having the same resonant frequency of all of the water doppelgangers is statistically impossible, even if it is magic. Steven survives this change in pressure and temperature.
They don't really care about other gems. All they care about is the Earth.
They don't care about their kind, they just care about the Earth. Oh my god, the crystal gems are interstellar vegans.
If I just stretch it far enough...
Okay, here we go. Here's the math that I did.
This is never going to work.
Well, after doing some quick math, I figured out the farthest distance you could stretch the ocean is 951,350,507,000 times farther than the visible universe if you lined up each molecule end to end. I don't know how true that is now. I mean, it's... If you stretched... if you've heard about the Vsauce, like the Lightyear water bottle, they did one for their Curiosity box, where if you filled that water bottle and you lined up each molecule of water in that bottle end to end, it would stretch a light year. Burst out laughing at the vegan comment. Yeah, I did some good jokes back in the day, and most of it was not. Yeah. If you stretch the Earth's water, it would go way farther than you'd ever expect. You could go way farther than the visible universe. That was a good joke. Yeah.
You have healing powers?
I know, right?
Steven forgets what superpowers he has.
Okay. Bye.
And the Oscar goes to... The whole Earth survives this. The mayor has been sitting here for at least 24 hours with that damn hose. Lapis just can't stand on it. Can she? Can she, like, stand on her tiptoes on, like, a 1 molecule wide tower of water? I'm surprised. This video never got copyright claimed for using this music, and I'm shocked. If this stream gets copyright claimed for the same music, I would also be even more shocked. Ocean Man. Yeah, I love that music. I thought it was perfect. I heard it. I'm like, man, I should really put it. Ocean Man. I should put it at the end of that one fucking Crystal Sins episode. It's pretty good. I like this is my favorite episode of Crystal Sins that I ever did. There's a couple things in it that I don't like. Overall, I still don't enjoy going back to watch Crystal Sins, but if I ever do go back to watch any of them, it's this one. These, like, 4,500 views, at least, like, 500 of those are me. Okay. Has anyone gone through anyone have any suggestions for videos if anyone has gone through any of these? I don't care what order we go in. There's a few videos that I'm probably just gonna veto if I get to them. Probably the let me think. I'm gonna go sort by. You know, watch the hot takes video. Everyone's seen the hot takes video. No, we're not watching that. Let me think. We could just watch the first episode of Gemology and see how much progress I've made on fucking, on goddamn, on any of this. I'm still looking. I'm still thinking. I could watch my favorite video that I've ever made ever, which was the Miraculous Ladybug review. Where is that even? What about the Undertale one? Oh, yeah, okay. We should watch the Undertale video. Which I like that video. That was one of my favorite videos that I have made in general. And this was a collaboration with The Apoke. Look at how many fucking comments this one has and how many dislikes. Source then, source now. Yes. This was 2017, which was, what, 7 years ago? No. 8 years ago. God damn. Eventually I will return to Undertale. I'll try to replay it. This was a collaboration between me and The Apoke, where he likes Undertale. I've talked about him. He was in the hot takes video too. He likes Undertale, or he liked it at the time, and we decided to, on the same day, this was 2 years after Undertale came out, the exact date. And let me just open this up. It was, he wanted to do a video about why he liked it, and I wanted to do one where I didn't like it. And yeah, it was kind of neat because it was like the one collaboration, like the double channel collaboration that I've ever done on this channel. It was fun. It's definitely not for everyone. It's very inspired by JRPGs. I will say, going into this, after going and playing some more JRPGs, specifically Chrono Trigger, which everyone tells me is the greatest JRPG of all time, I like that game. I'll be honest. It's not for me. The whole genre, I never finished Chrono Trigger. If I can't finish the best JRPG of all time, I will probably not like the whole genre. That's, I don't know. Maybe one day one will catch me. It'll be fun. Maybe if I play like Final Fantasy VII Remake or something, I've heard that's good. But I don't know. Ready. Start out with the sigh. Start with the sigh. Oh, this one has full captions. I forgot. I put full captions on this one. I don't like Undertale. The internet's gonna crucify me for this, isn't it? 2 years ago today, Undertale was released onto Steam, Well, actually, it started spreading onto other websites. Really fast. Like, really, really fast. There was a literal flash flood of fan art and videos and talk about this new game, Undertale. Everyone was so fascinated and enthralled by it, and I didn't get it. The mass appeal just didn't really register with me.
Getting the cross
artwork
ready.
looked really basic and crappy to me. There wasn't a single bit of color in any of the characters, and some of them looked like they were drawn with a Wii remote. The gameplay looked really basic and uncreative, like the mechanics would get really old really fast. I saw some videos and lost my interest pretty quick. I heard some music and it wasn't really as good as people said. Most of my exposure to this game wasn't by my choosing. Like I said, this game was fucking everywhere. The only way for you to avoid it was to log off the internet, turn off your computer, and go outside and do something else.
Okay, I should preface this. This game came out when I was still in high school, and I was friends with all the nerds. Believe it or not, I was a nerd, and I was part of the nerd friend group. And a lot of them had Tumblr accounts. These were the Tumblr people who in high school would I had a personal issue with it. Yeah, going into Undertale, I had a bad taste in my mouth. And it was it just I couldn't play this game with a clear head, basically. But again, 8 years have passed since I made this video, I think. Was it 8 years? Yeah. No, 7 years. Nearly 8 years have passed. Was part of the dumb friend groups the only one who was serious? Everyone had their friend group in high school. But yeah, mine was I didn't have a Tumblr when I was in high school, but I was friends with a lot of people who did when Tumblr was still huge. Okay.
Hey man, have you heard about that new game Undertale that came out a few days ago? Pretty sweet, huh? I just beat it for the 6th time last night.
No, there was no way to avoid it. It made its way off the internet and started spreading like a disease. It started filling my YouTube and Twitter feeds, and I couldn't go anywhere on the internet without seeing this hot garbage. Out of sheer spite, I wasn't going to play this game no matter how many times people tell me to, no matter how good the review scores are. But there are some diseases that, no matter how many times you wash your hands, you still end up catching.
Oh wait, there was supposed to be music during this, and it got copyright claimed. I removed it.
I might.
So now it sounds like shit.
I'll show you my Steam library, and maybe whoever's watching can decide what game I get to play. Titanfall. I could play Titanfall, but what do you call it? My Origin account got hacked and stuff. Undertale,
That was true. My Origin account got a two-factor they didn't change the password, but they put two-factor authentication on it. It was like it was some question in like Russian or something, and I ended up like emailing EA support, and they fixed that. Kind of weird. Also, Premiere, what is this? CS5? Old school Premiere. This is ugly as sin. And I was making crystal sins during this. It all ties back to Steven Universe. Everything I've ever done in my fucking life on the internet ties back to Steven Universe. After learning about the the history of Undertale and stuff, I have a lot more respect for it than I did when I made the video. If I went back and played it now, I would probably kind of get it a little bit more. I wouldn't get the humor as much because it just didn't resonate with me at the time. Maybe it will now. I don't fucking know. Steven is love. Steven is life. Yeah. Deltarune. I commented that because people wouldn't shut up about playing Deltarune. People would also, I should mention, people come to this video. I can look at the analytics of how people get to this video, and I can tell you that it's like 90% people going on YouTube and doing this. and making the same mistypes and looking up videos of people who hate Undertale just so they can watch something that they disagree with and then like rage in the comments. They are doing it to themselves. It's ridiculous because I can see people doing it, and that's, yeah, people go out of their way to find things they don't like and then go and like dislike them and complain about it in the comments. They're looking for something they're not gonna like. Yeah. Dropping by to say I love Gemology and eagerly wait more. Next one comes out on YouTube, comes out on Wednesday. I'll be back on the grind.
I'll play that game if someone buys it for me. I'm not gonna go out and buy it for myself, because, I don't know, it just doesn't seem like something that I'd enjoy, because I've had a bad history with that game. Not really a bad history, I've just not enjoyed the internet being clogged up with it.
Oh, we should watch this video next. SourceMaster movie night.
But if someone wants to buy it for me, I'll play it, sure.
You just notice the likes and dislikes, yeah. So I came up with this thing, right? I call it the source code. Get it? Because my name is and the software. Never mind. Basically, I made this rule for myself when it comes to playing video games, especially ones that I don't like. Okay, this does not apply anymore. I will say this now. What I'm saying in this scene doesn't apply. You can tell me all you want to play, I don't know, Paper Mario for the GameCube, and I won't play it. However, if you send it to me, my rule is that I have to livestream that game if you really want me to. God damn it, I shouldn't be saying that publicly. And I censored this because I had a P.O. box at the time. When I was actually getting views and stuff. No one ever sent this to anything to me, but I also had it, so I was living with my parents because I was in fucking high school. And I wanted, like, shit. I wanted to get mail and stuff without it coming to them, and them, like, going through fucking, like, t-shirts or whatever that I'm buying. I don't know. Why did I go with the name SourceMaster? It was, back when I played a lot of Valve games like Portal and Team Fortress 2 and Half-Life 2, I was like, oh, the Source Action, I'm like a master at this. And, I never ended up becoming like a gaming channel or anything, so I just... Also, the underscore is only because SourceMaster without an underscore was taken on Twitter. So I just put an underscore at the end. You got to keep them guessing because you can't put it in the middle. You got to put it at the end. It can't be predictable. So you can guess what happens next.
See, I could have done a roll credits there, but that was my phone. Hold on. It is. Someone just bought me Undertale, thank you. Hold on. Time to check my email.
Someone gave me Undertale during a live stream. I play it, I live stream it, and I fucking love it! Just kidding, it was awful. It wasn't the worst game I've ever played. That title goes to Starforge or something with equally little originality. You guys know about Starforge? This is a real game, by the way. I paid money for that back when I was a kid. About as much as a Call of Duty player would enjoy playing on a roleplay server in Gary's mod. So before anything else, I'm going to address something important about my experience. Live streaming. So I do a lot of live streaming, like... if you really want to play a bad game, look up Rubber Hose Rampage. Is it something I can look up on stream? Hold on. Can I open a new window? Let's open a new window. Wait. Control N.
You may have heard
shit. No, what was that? What happened? Wait. I went to a Pan and Coic video. Control N. Let me see. I'm gonna look this up in a different screen so I don't fucking get kicked off of YouTube. Rubber
Rubber Hose Rampage. What is this? Oh, because it's one of those things, I'll show it. I'll pull up the Steam. This is like when Mickey Mouse went public domain, people ended up just capitalizing on shit. Because they're like, oh, I can use like Mickey Mouse and fucking Popeye and Felix the Cat for free because they're all public domain, so they ended up making slop. Yeah, Panenkoic jump scare, sorry. Alright, we're gonna return to the video. How much does this cost money? What the hell? There's a lot of shit. Back in the day, you didn't have this much shit on Steam. It wasn't so easy to get on Steam. Now it only costs $100 and you can fucking, yeah. You can just throw any old game on there as long as you're following the rules. But if it's a dog shit game like this, then yeah. Anyway. I enjoyed it about as much as a Call of Duty player would enjoy playing on a roleplay server in Gary's mod. So before anything else, I'm going to address something important about my experience. Live streaming. So I do a lot of live streaming, like I stream more than I upload videos. And live streaming a game is an almost completely different experience because you have the live chat where you... The worst part is that multiple people bought that. Yeah, the fact that it had a review score is telling that people... Well, a lot of people probably buy it and then review it and then refund it, you know? Yes. Viewers can talk back and forth, basically in real time. You ever hear of a backseat driver? If not, basically a backseat driver is someone who sits with you in the passenger seat of a car and basically gives you commands as if they're trying to drive. Oh, unlike this video. In a really annoying way. Luckily, I don't usually drive with other people, so I don't have to deal with backseat drivers that often. What I, and basically every other streamer, does have to deal with is backseat gamers. Usually with driving, you have a maximum of 3 backseat drivers. When I livestream Undertale, I had to deal with 20 backseat gamers. That was the most... You'll notice there's 30 people here now. This was like the most people I would get in a live stream back in the day. Back when I was making Crystal Sins. Which was... My channel had like a lull between stopping Crystal Sins and starting Gemology because I didn't have any like proper direction that I was taking it. And yeah, this was like a big deal for me. I only had like 1,000 subscribers at this point. This part of the video is accurate as hell. Yeah, people in that fandom, I really shouldn't have live streamed this game the first time I played it. And when I go back to play it in the future, I will not live stream it. I'll record myself doing it because I want to make a video about it at some point. But I'm not, God, no, I'm not gonna live stream it. And people will, like, in the chat, or will just say shit like, you're doing this wrong, you gotta kill him, or you gotta, like, not kill him, or whatever. It's like, just let me play the game, man. I don't care how you want me to play it. I'm the one at the helm. I'll go crash this car off a bridge! You know, that kind of thing. We'll turn this car around. We'll turn this live stream around right now. We'll go back home, and you'll go to sleep. You'll go to bed with no dinner. For 1,000 years. Valid crash out? Yes. There's that peak viewership. Everyone thought they were in control while watching the stream. Every time I looked at the chat, I saw people arguing about what they wanted me to do. Of course, I could only do half of what people wanted, which just pissed off the people who wanted me not to do it, so that is definitely a factor in my experience. You know what? To be fair, and to rule out the possibility that I don't like this game just because of backseat gamers, I'm gonna play through the game for an hour or two from the beginning and see if I still don't like it. Let's have a short intermission and I'll be back to you in a bit. Like the Ren and Stimpy music. I used a lot of Ren and Stimpy music and only one of them got claimed, but I know the rest of it gets claimed a lot. I'm sure going back and watching these videos on stream, I'll get a couple claims. I'll try to upload the VOD of this stream to Patreon for free. Like, I don't want to lock that behind a paywall. If people want to go back and watch this one, I'll put it up there for anyone to see. If it gets claimed and nuked off the website, you know.
Okay, yeah, still didn't enjoy it. I know people are going to argue that I should have enjoyed it, so I'm going to come up with some common arguments people are going to have and tell you why those arguments aren't really going to work.
Real gatekeeping issue? Yeah.
You didn't play it to the end. This is one of the most
What was the
common
appeal of Undertale? The characters and the humor. The problem is if you didn't pay attention to the dialogue, like I was streaming, I got impatient, I skipped a lot of it. If you weren't like invested in the characters, you would have been you just wouldn't have gotten it. Or if the humor just doesn't resonate with you, then yeah. It's like Tumblr humor though. It's like 2016 Tumblr humor. 2015 Tumblr humor. I don't know.
Arguments I hear against people that didn't enjoy the game. The first thing you ask someone is if they played to the very end, and here's the problem with that. If I don't enjoy the first 4 or 5 hours of gameplay, I'm not going to be interested in playing however much longer to see how the game ends. Everyone's heard that saying before. The definition of insanity is trying something
definitely
over
not a
and
game
over
for
and
streaming.
expecting something
Yeah.
different. Saying you have to play
I've learned over the years of playing games on stream, which I'm not gonna do on YouTube anymore. If anyone wants to watch me play games, I'll be doing that on Twitch in the future. I've gotten better at picking and choosing what games that I know will be like good stream games or bad stream games. And I didn't know this back in this time. I played Undertale because someone bought it for me and they wanted to see me play it. And I'm like, okay, I'll do it on stream. And that was a mistake.
The game to the end is like going to a restaurant, getting a plate of food that you think tastes awful, and someone telling you that it'll only taste good once you finish the last bite. That's not how food works, and that's not how video games or any form of entertainment works for that matter. If I'm not enjoying my experience for the majority of the time I'm playing, then I'm not really enjoying the game.
I will say there's one exception to this. There's absolutely only one exception to what I am saying here in this video about it's only good once you get to the end. It's an episode of BoJack Horseman on Netflix.com called it's a season 5 episode called Free Churro. That episode is it's a 20, without spoiling anything, it's a 20-minute setup to the greatest punchline of all time in all of cartoons. I swear to God. The episode itself is so dull, but the ending hits you like a truck. It's fucking amazing. And it's awesome. That episode is so good. That's my favorite episode in the whole show, I think. I need to go back and watch that show at some point. BoJack Horseman, I swear to God, is what it's Steven Universe Future but better. It's like the same concept, but they actually took their time to like explore sensitive topics and stuff.
Game at all. You're playing the game wrong. This is probably the worst argument I'm going to get. Let me get straight to the point. If there's a right way and a wrong way to play a game, then there's something inherently wrong with the game. I shouldn't have to look up or
I made this point. Maybe I'll talk about it at the end. Hold on.
be told how to enjoy something. I should be able to figure out how to enjoy it any way that I want. I think a lot of book and movie franchises have an extremely similar problem. Let's take Star Wars and use that as an example. A lot of people dislike the Star Wars movies because after watching the prequels, the original trilogy becomes more predictable. So what people did to remedy that is come up with a viewing order. They tell you to watch the movies out of the order that they're numbered in order to get the, quote, best viewing experience. And this concept is fundamentally flawed just from the fact that if people didn't enjoy the movies the first time they watched them, they aren't going to enjoy them in a different order. And it's even more flawed when it comes to video games. Each player has a unique playstyle, and telling someone that
My unique playstyle is fucking around. Is ignoring the main quest and just dicking around, trying to sequence break the game and find glitches and stuff. And I guess in JRPGs that's like not possible, which is partly why I just don't like that kind of thing, because it's very linear. There's no like, you can't like go fast, you can't pace yourself and stuff.
There's a bunch of bugs in that game. You'd actually love Undertale for that. I don't know, you can't like, there isn't like fun, you know? Maybe there is if I look up some stuff, but if I go and boot up like Half-Life 2, like right now, I could just dick around in one level for like an hour straight without actually playing the game. Again, a very linear game, but I can still find shit to do. I also love games with emergent gameplay more than linear games. That's a good point. Emergent gameplay is a huge thing. Do you know how long you're going to be streaming for? I have no idea. Just till I get bored or until I get tired. Or until I get hungry. Probably the third one. I'm going to probably get hungry. The Source engine is an awesome engine to screw around in. That's why I love TF2 so much. That's a perfect example of a game you can just fuck around in and still get enjoyment out of it. If you're not going to play, you can join in a server and find like a heavy wearing the fucking the holiday punch, so like the mittens, just pacing around giving sandwiches to enemies, and that's like fun for that person. And I see entirely why it's fun. It's because he's making his own game. You don't need to play the game. It's you, whatever you make it. It's awesome. Me, when I play Grand Theft Auto, a perfect other example. They give you this huge playground and all these fun little toys to fuck around with. And there's no expectation you do anything with them specifically. Yeah, there's a main story, but who cares? You have this whole world. What, are you just gonna follow the fucking railroad the whole time? Do I like Minecraft? I adore Minecraft. Minecraft is one of my favorite games, I think. I maybe haven't conceded on that for a very long time, but I think I'm willing to admit now that I love Minecraft. It's one of my favorites. It's Amazing Frog. I haven't played that one, but I have seen it and it looks amazing. But things like Goat Simulator, just know, like Goat Simulator 1. I know in the third one, you know, the second one, but it's called 3. They give you like these objectives, but like, I don't know, I don't care. I just want to fuck around. It's awesome. I'll play some Minecraft on Twitch in the future because I have a server that me and a couple friends are playing on with a bunch of mods installed. And yeah, games like this, games like Undertale, which like railroad you into a certain story and stuff, it's just kind of boring to me, at least. Or a game where I can go fast, like a roguelike. Yeah. There's no other game as universal as Minecraft. Yeah, Minecraft is for everybody. I know that's like a meme, but from back in the day, but yeah, Minecraft, there's no like specific way to play it other than like killing the Ender Dragon. Okay, we're going to continue because I've been ranting about like games. I'm going to make that like whole rant a cut and like upload it somewhere, I don't know.
Their playstyle is wrong is, first of all, offensive, and second of all, nobody's going to change their playstyle just to conform to one game. If your playstyle is supposedly the wrong one, you're just gonna go play a different game. If you don't like Star Wars, you're just gonna go watch a different movie. I don't think I have to explain that further. You didn't pay attention to the story and the character.
This is the only argument I feel like actually applies, and I feel like whatever I said next is wrong, because if I didn't pay attention to the story and characters in Undertale, then I missed the entire point, and I will concede on that. I'm wrong on this point.
Okay, this is actually a potentially valid argument.
Oh, I actually said that in the video. Shit. It's a valid argument.
For once, but like the other ones, there are still inherent flaws with it, and these flaws actually apply to all video games. Telling a story in a video game is one of the most difficult ways to actually tell a story. Since games are a visual medium, a developer has to make use of those visual elements to tell a story. The best way I've seen a game tell a story is in Portal 2. It made perfect use of the audio and visual elements that define video games to execute a story perfectly. Telling a story through written dialogue, through text on a screen, is one of the first mistakes you make when making a game.
This is the point that I get the most comments about on this video. I still kind of stand by this. I would much prefer
if games that told story through text actually had voice acting, because you have that as an option. But I get it that developers usually, especially for a game like this where it's one guy, you don't have the resources to do voices for every single character that you're going to include. But if you do have those resources, I don't see why you can't have voice acting for characters on, like, I don't know. I'm working on a game on and off. I haven't worked on it in a long time, but there's going to be text-based dialogue in that, but I'm also going to have voice acting. But there's also going to only be, like, 6 characters in the whole game. I don't know. But I will say, I feel like my arguments in this video about this is bad.
Using written dialogue removes the ability to tell a story through audio. Most importantly, though, it forces the player to stop playing in order to read.
I will say this is bullshit, though. Undertale has paragraphs of dialogue, and it's a pain in the ass because it makes you stop playing the game.
Text on a screen. With text, you lose the ability to convey emotions, sarcasm, and emphasis. You can't make a joke like this with text.
I feel awful about that surprise. Tell you what.
Oh shit, I didn't put subtitles on.
Right now.
The birth parents you are trying to reach do not love you. Please hang up.
Oh, that's sad. But impressive. Maybe they worked at the phone company.
It's such a simple joke.
Good voice acting is better than text dialogue, but text dialogue is way better than mid voice acting. I can see that. Yeah, I can agree with that. Unless we're talking about Oblivion, like the Elder Scrolls 4, where characters... I think part of the charm of that game is all the voice acting is crazy. I think the deliveries are good. I applaud you for subtitling videos. I need to go back and subtitle all of Gemology, I think. Since I have scripts written out, I should just do that. If you upload those scripts to YouTube, it'll like auto assign them to the right places. I'm really fine with unvoiced dialogue when it's little or has a bunch of depth to it. Yeah. My thing is, if I want to read... Like, I will never play a visual novel, because if I want to read to get a story, I will just read a book. And I do. People comment in this video that I don't like... Right, oh, this guy can't read, so he doesn't like the game. But it's like, no, I love to read. I just don't... If I'm booting up a video game, I want to be playing the whole time, not reading. I don't know. Shitty voice acting will throw me out of the immersion so fast. Yeah, I entirely understand that. I entirely agree. I can't think of a game that has, like, really awful voice acting, though. Or, like, a good game that otherwise would have been really good if it had the, like, good voice acting. I see it more in shows and movies, though. Even in Steven Universe, like, then, whenever the episode that I did...
But if there...
what do you call it? Whenever the episode House Guest comes out, there's an Amethyst line that I really hate because it's just a bad delivery. It's like the only bad delivery that Amethyst has in the show. And it took me out of the episode really bad.
For no audio, it wouldn't work. At all. It would look like it's text on a screen with no emphasis on sarcasm or any way to make it look like a different voice. And if a player didn't want any jokes or any story to ruin their gameplay, it doesn't pull them away from what they're doing to crack jokes like some kind of animated DreamWorks sidekick animal. This is almost definitely just my opinion, but I find Undertale's art style to be very limiting when it comes to visual storytelling. With pixel art, it makes it difficult to have characters make facial expressions or body gestures.
I will also concede on this point. I feel like I was wrong when I made this video. Because I will play a game like Stardew Valley, which has these little tiny character sprites, and they have incredible expressions. I'm just wrong on this point. That's just... I don't know. I think I also heard... I don't know how true this is, but when Toby Fox was making this game, he said there was a point where he said the art looked... Whoa, the art looked too good, so he made it shitty or something. I don't know the story of that.
And it does happen in the game occasionally, but it doesn't quite hit that hard. You can tell entire stories through a visual medium without any use of dialogue.
I gotta say, if you want a story told entirely visually with no dialogue, play Limbo. That game is fucking fantastic. What are we watching? We were watching my Undertale review that I made back 7 years ago. We're just going through a bunch of old videos, and I like to just talk about old shit. It's fun. Limbo and Inside. I haven't played Inside. I've only seen a playthrough of it, and it looks so good. I want to play that someday. But Limbo, I've played through at least like 4 times. It's incredible. And an incredible story told with absolutely no dialogue.
And even if it's not a good story, it's more effective than text on a screen. You only dislike it because it's so popular. First of all, what? You think I'm 12 or something? No, seriously, that's
look at this clip of me just skipping through all the fucking dialogue.
Something a prepubescent teenager would do. I hear this argument all the time with basically anything that's popular. I know a lot of people go on 4chan or whatever and say they don't like something popular just to start shit and see people's reactions. But if I'm dedicated enough to make a video that's 19 minutes and 7 seconds long, thoroughly explaining what I dislike about a game, do you really think I'm just...
The Alphys dialogue is very annoying. That's the point where I stopped playing the game. When it was fucking Alphys, like, calling you on the phone over and over and, like, making you stop walking because she wants to fucking, like, update her status or whatever on Facebook. I was done. That was when I stopped. And yeah. And that's when I decided I really don't like this game.
Saying that to start shit like the trolls on 4chan. Second of all, doesn't everything need to be judged no matter how popular it is?
Remember Ralph the Movie Maker when he actually made good videos? Anyway.
Isn't that the whole point of channels like Jello Apocalypse? I hate everything.
It just says video length. Yeah, because I pasted my script in from the video when I initially wrote it, and I guess I didn't update, I didn't change it. I think it's funny though. I'm gonna leave it like that.
CinemaSins, and even my channel. I make Crystal Sins not because I hate Steven Universe, but I think the show doesn't have enough critics. Sometimes people need a wake-up call so they can actually look at things with a critical eye rather than eating it all up when it's fed to them. Without criticism, nothing will ever improve. I'm sure you've heard someone say something like, if you don't have something nice to say, don't say it. Well, that's stupid. If you only judge something when it's good, then people who make things that are bad aren't going to know how to improve or even if they need to improve.
I will say, I stand by this. If you, I do get comments every so often. I try to read every comment that I get. And I do get comments as like, why are you being so negative about this part? It's like, cause I don't like it. Like I'm being negative because I have a negative reaction to this part of this episode or whatever. And I guess people still think in current year that we need to live in like a safe space hug box and be like toxically positive about everything. And it's like, no, that's dumb. If people need to improve at something, then they need to hear it. Like, you can't just ignore them. If I will say, chat, if I slip up and I make some really, like, shit mistake or I have a really shit take, please tell me. I'm entirely fine with you calling me out on any, like, bullshit. If I'm being unfair to a certain part of something. If I want to improve, that's my thing, is I want to hear that I can improve, because I can improve. I'm not perfect. I know whatever I'm doing can be better. It's constructive criticism, exactly. And if you can say negative things and it'll still be constructive. Like let me think. What's an example from fucking Steven Universe? It's like I could just talk about like the Steven's point of view rule or something. I wish that you could have had other characters' point of view without ruining the mystery of Steven Universe. I feel like Steven Universe was praised a bit too much back in the day, and then the internet sort of overcorrected. Lily Orchard and that one Tumblr controversy did not help. Is it the Tumblr controversy with the thin rose quartz and the attempted self game ending? I don't know if I want to say it because I'm gonna get like killed off of YouTube. I'm gonna have YouTube employees breaking that my door. Now it's to the point where it's now hip to hate it. I was at a point that I was like, oh, the people are right. Steven Universe sucks dick. And it's like, well, and then I go back to watch it. I'm like, what are they talking about? This show's good. This show's awesome. Garnet has nothing to her in season 1B. Yeah, that's a good constructive criticism, is that she doesn't have anything to do really until Jailbreak. Everyone switched up after Lily got outed for being a creep. Kind of. I don't want to involve myself in the Lily Orchard stuff. I'm forming my own opinions through my own ingestion of the show. I'm not basing my opinions on other people's opinions. That's just recipe for echo chambers.
You only dislike Undertale because of the community. The Undertale community is a hideous, vile, disgusting, cancerous load of horseshit in a dumpster. I agree.
I've been using that profile picture for so long. I've been using it for fucking 8 years or whatever by now.
Here nor there. The community isn't the game. The community is a result of the game's elements. And yes, I probably dislike a few of those elements, but you can't review a game based on the people who play it. I've seen plenty of negative reviews on Steam games only because those games have empty servers, even if the game is fantastic otherwise. There are plenty of reviews for Five Nights at Freddy's and even Undertale saying the fan base ruined my experience. But like I said, when you play the game, it's not exposed.
I think this was back when there was only one Five Nights at Freddy's game, maybe two. I'm trying to think. When did like more Five Nights at Freddy's come out? Was it? Because this is 2017. I don't even know. 3 months, like 3 months after? Oh, yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Oh, most did in a single year? That's insane. Yeah, Five Nights at Freddy's was ridiculously, it was, I'm going to use the phrase we used back then, it was AIDS. Back in that time, when that game came out, all the community was AIDS. We should bring back saying AIDS instead of cancer, because like AIDS is something you can kind of avoid. You can get like medication for it and kind of reduce the effects, but cancer is something you can't really do anything about, and it's something that it's a little bit unfair to say something is cancer because it's, I don't know. Anyway.
You to the fan base. You can say something like that about Counter-Strike, Overwatch, or League of Legends, and it would be perfectly valid. Because if you can't play a single game without a toxic player on your team, then the game is exposing you directly to the community, and that's a flaw with the game itself. In a single-player game, it doesn't work like that. I'm making a video about how I dislike Undertale, and here I am saying the community did nothing wrong. Seems kinda backwards, doesn't it? You can't dislike Undertale because it was made by one person. You know what other video games were almost entirely made by single developers? Let's have a roll call. Five Nights at Freddy's, Stardew Valley, Another World, Dwarf Fortress, Minecraft.
Minecraft was made by Notch. It wasn't owned by Microsoft. Maybe it was owned by Microsoft for maybe like a year or two at this point when I was talking about it.
Banished, Cave Story, Unturned, Papers, Please, Tetris, Gary's Mod, Roller Coaster.
This game was made in x86 assembly language. I have an infinite amount of respect for the guy who made this. It's insane. Like how this game is incredible. And it was made by one guy in x86 assembly. Crazy. It's awesome.
Tycoon. And more stuff you've probably never heard of. What I'm trying to say is that having a small development team is not an excuse, and it is not nearly as impressive as it may have been 20 years ago. So now that those...
This is entirely flipped. Smaller development teams make better games now. That's just a fact. That's just, what do you call it? Like, there's a bunch of... People talk about, Expedition 33, which had a dev team of, like, maybe 30 people. And a game, I played this game on stream, like, a long time ago. I played that Suicide Squad game, and it sucked. How many people worked on that? I'm Googling that. Hold on. Suicide Squad dev. Let's see how big. Wait. This is maybe not supporting my thing, but they had like layoffs after the fact. This is not supporting my thing, but there are games that have like a 200-man development teams, and they just suck. Like, big teams don't make games good. It's because there isn't corporate greed involved. Exactly. There's no shareholders. You're not making the game for the shareholders. You're making it for the gamers. Too many cooks in the kitchen. It's a perfect analogy for it. And that's part of the reason I don't buy... Like, I won't buy a game for $60 anymore, because it's like, I can go buy fucking Factorio for $30, $35, and play that game for 500 hours, and then download a total conversion mod pack and play it for another 500 hours. Indie does not mean automatically good either. Yeah, there's a lot of indie slop out there. There's no recipe for a good game, and I think that people need to learn that. Like, AAA developers or AAA shareholders especially need to learn that. I saw a recent Suicide Squad game for $100 base game. It's probably the same one that I played, but I got that game for $3 because it was so underwhelming when it came out. They put it on sale like the first month for $3. Undertale wasn't even made by one guy. It was programmed by one guy, but I think another person made a lot of the art. Great.
Arguments are disputed before anyone can even make them. I'm going to start moving on to the specifics of what I personally don't like. The controls are ass. The first thing I ask the viewers when I livestream Undertale is whether I should...
I stand by what I'm about to say here, because I have a friend who's making a game, and he sent me a demo, and I booted it up, I plugged in a controller, and he didn't have controller support yet. And I'm like, first question before I even started the game, I'm like, can I use a controller? He's like, no. I'm like, okay, I don't want to play it. I need... If you're gonna give me something like a 2D platformer or something, it's like, I'm gonna need a controller, dog. Come on. And yeah, you couldn't, at this time when I played this game, you could not configure the controls. But now you have Steam, and you can plug in a controller and then just like map your controls to basically anything through the Steam menu, which is really nice, especially if you have a Steam Deck and you can map like the touchpads to different stuff. Yeah. That's just a skill issue? No, that's an accessibility issue. Controller support is for accessibility mostly, because that's what people are used to. That's a standard. Like, if you bought a car and it doesn't have a steering wheel and it has like 2 joysticks, it's like, well, I can't drive this, it doesn't have a steering wheel. So when you buy a 2D platformer and it doesn't have controller support, well, I can't play this, it doesn't have controller support. It's the same thing. I'm sure you could learn it on a keyboard, or you could learn a car that has like a
big like a fucking airplane yoke or something. But I don't wanna. I'd rather buy the car that has a steering wheel.
Use a controller. The answer I got back was that this game didn't support controllers, which was weird, but not too unusual since a lot of games don't let you use a controller. What was too unusual was the fact that there was absolutely no way to change your controls at all. When I played it again off stream, I actually set up my own controls on the Steam controller, just so I wouldn't have to deal with the stupid arrow keys on a keyboard. Bottom line is, if a game has bad controls, the whole game is bad. There's really no way to argue against that. If you can't play the game is bad. What else is there to say? The controls in Undertale weren't the worst.
Imagine comparing a game controlled with arrow keys to Z and X to learning how to fly a plane. It's the same idea. You're learning a new set of controls. It's the same thing. I've flown a plane before. That's a fun fact. I actually flew. I got taken up in a plane by a family friend who was a pilot, and I got like one free like pilot lesson. This was before I ever drove a car. And he took us up and he said, here's how to do it. Now take control. Like grab a hold of the thing and like do a couple turns and like increase elevation, decrease, go up and down. It was cool. Actually, flying a plane is not as hard as it seems. I'm sure taking off and landing is a pain, but I think the hardest thing about flying a plane is like radio communication. I don't know nothing about that. I wish I could do that someday. Maybe not the greatest analogy, but I get what you're getting at. I just want to, it's like, most like Metroidvania games, like if you're on an Xbox controller, I got an Xbox controller right here. If you're playing like a Metroidvania, for example, the default thing my brain is going to do is the left stick is going to move you. The A button is going to jump. X is a light attack. Y is a heavy attack. B is like a menu or a dodge roll or something. And then items are on either the triggers or the bumpers. That's just what my brain is going to default to. So that's what a lot of developers end up doing. Because it's like the common thing. If you can't play on a keyboard, then Undertale already wasn't made for you. That's not what I'm getting at. I think you're missing the point here. Is that, like, you've presented a 2D game that's supposed to be accessible and you don't have controller support. I can complain about this because I've made a game and I've added controller support to a game. It's as easy as clicking one button. It's clicking a button and then pressing the button on the controller. And then it's mapped. It's that easy. I'm allowed to complain about it.
Experience, but the game would have been much nicer if I were able to play it on an NES controller. I can't stand the dialogue. Like I said earlier, there are inherent flaws with written dialogue in video games, but it's still possible to use written dialogue in a way that works. My rule of thumb is to keep it short.
I hate not being able to change controls. Again, that's an accessibility thing. If a game doesn't have the ability to change controls, that's a problem with accessibility more than anything else. And I entirely agree. Also, field of view. That's just me, though. If I get a first-person shooter game and I can't change the field of view, then I get like motion sick.
Don't make it interfere with the gameplay. Undertale and many other RPGs have an issue with the length of their dialogue. I've been recommended games like Paper Mario, but I've been staying away from playing them because from what I've seen, there's way too much text in proportion to gameplay. Undertale has a major flaw in the fact that there is more dialogue than there is gameplay. With that much disproportion, it's a wonder why a fighting mechanic was even put into the game, and it wasn't just left as a visual novel. Though I wouldn't be complaining about it as much if the dialogue didn't interrupt gameplay.
This guy. Right. Let's go for here. I hate games that are more of an RPG movie than a game. That's why everyone tells me, oh, Uncharted is so good. And it's like, I don't care. I don't want to play. It's not a game. It's a movie. Stop. I'm going to unfriend you. I'm gonna unfriend you. Stop updating your status.
A lot of the dialogue in Undertale forcefully rips you from the gameplay, not unlike being violently thrown out of a United Airlines flight.
Remember the United Airlines thing? That was very topical. That's very dating this video. That was a meme at the time when some guy got like, "We overbooked the plane, you gotta get off."
Undertale has paragraphs upon paragraphs of dialogue between gameplay. I just want to send a message to all new and aspiring gamers.
If I went into Undertale expecting a visual novel, I probably would have liked it more. But I also don't like visual novels. So, I don't know. Now it's Boeing. Well, Boeing just has planes that are, like, exploding. I am also not suicidal. So, I'm very healthy. I'm very happy with my life. I would never kill myself. Boeing planes suck ass.
Devs out there. If I wanted to
If
read
you know, you know.
paragraphs and pages of text, I would read a book, not play a video game. The combat is weird and inconsistent. I'm not gonna lie, I like the idea of a bullet hell mechanic in the game. It adds a level of skill requirement instead of RNG and whether your stats are better than your enemies that most RPGs have. The random encounters seem kind of arbitrary, but I can give them a pass. What I can't let go under my radar is how the game likes to do boss fights. Almost every time you encounter a boss, the game changes
The
how
Boeing
the bullet
Hitman is overworked already. You're good. That's yeah. What do you... I was gonna say, this point is probably the point I stand by the most in this video. I'll let it play out. 1 sec.
How and fighting mechanics work. One core rule of game design that even I know is intuitive mechanics. Let players ease into a new mechanic when you give it to them. When you get the gravity gun in Half-Life 2, the next chapter is filled with more physics objects than any of the rest of the game, along with extremely slow-moving, easy-to-kill enemies. This lets the player experiment with the gravity gun to find out how it works as a utility, how different items damage enemies, and when to switch to other weapons. And then, of course, you get to keep the gravity gun for the rest of the game. And here Undertale throws you immediately into a boss fight with a brand new mechanic that you were never introduced to before, and when you get done with the fight, you never see the mechanic used again throughout the entire game. It's the definition of unintuitive game design, and should have either been scrapped or fleshed out.
I would say it's not necessarily unintuitive, but the fact that they give you mechanics and then take them away is really bogus. In any game, if any game does that, it irks me. It bothers me. If you get if you're playing like a farming simulator or something, and you suddenly get like a shotgun and you have to shoot raccoons and then like protect your livestock by like shooting raccoons and coyotes, and then you get done with that sequence and then the game takes your shotgun away, I'm gonna be a little bit bothered by that because you just gave me this toy and I want to fuck around with it. Again, that's just how I play video games. I want to fuck around with like the toys that it gives you. A shotgun is a toy. It is. I maybe should elaborate on that before I get banned from YouTube, is that a shotgun in real life is not a toy, but a shotgun in a video game is absolutely a toy, and it's absolutely something to have fun with. Sometimes the mechanic is just to make it harder. I wish there were just more, like if they showed this mechanic, even if it did show up for the first time in a boss, I wish they would like have enemies, like the blue things, like if you only get hit by them if you're moving. Those show up in other enemies, but other mechanics just don't. Like I wish they would have let that happen. No game is for everyone, which is fine. Yeah. And I think Undertale was just not for me. And I just gave my take on it, you know? That's my thing with Steven Universe Future. It wasn't for me.
Before release. The music. Music is actually pretty good.
I didn't use any Undertale music in this whole video.
This game has fantastic music. Why are you looking at me like that? Am I not allowed to have one good thing to say about this game at this point? I actually like the music in Undertale, but it's not the best soundtrack. Nuclear Throne.
I do like the Nuclear Throne soundtrack. I love Nuclear Throne. It's one of my favorite games ever. I just finished watching your Undertale video and then got recommended the stream. That's incredible. If you have any follow-up questions, You're in the right place. Let's see. Good thing, because the video probably would have been nuked if you did. I don't think so. I've heard Undertale music in all sorts of videos, and they're like a lot of videos. I don't think I would have gotten like nuked from that. I wonder if anyone noticed that you used no Undertale music. Maybe, I don't know. In this stream, wait, why? Does Undertale music get copyright claimed or something? Whatever the name of that company is has been vicious with Undertale and Deltarune copyright music music copyright recently. I thought it was made by Toby Fox. I thought, or is it like his publisher or whatever that's been doing it? That's weird, because I remember like Undertale music was everywhere, and I like it. I think it's good. I think it works for good background music. Materia Collective. Is that the publisher? That's wild. I thought it was... It's not the publisher, it's YouTube itself. That's not how that works. It has to be someone running a copyright claim or whatever. I'd like to hear more on your opinion about text dialogue and why you think it's a flaw rather than stylistic choice. I think, I don't think it's a flaw given the small team. I think if you have the resources and you're making a game and you have the resources to have voice acting, you 100% should at least try like having voice acting. And if the voice acting is bad, then have a toggle, you know. But I also think it's just the amount of dialogue in Undertale mostly. The what do you call it? I'm trying to think what else. Only some songs. This is strange. The music hit a certain threshold for more auto claims. Claims are automatic. That's someone has to set that up. That's not YouTube who does that. Whoever owns the music sets that up, and then YouTube just provides the tools for it. It's not YouTube making the claims. I know this. I deal with the automated claims from fucking Warner Brothers for every episode of Gemology. Alright. I didn't want to dislike this game. I went in hoping to find out what other people loved about it. I entirely think that everyone who goes into anything should if you're going in to something, this is for this video specifically, and people who like search for videos they disagree with. Don't go into something expecting to dislike it. That's a bad thing to do. Go in with zero expectations or with good expectations. I mean, if your expectations are too high, you're gonna get disappointed. But if you go in with zero expectations, I did this with the Borderlands movie. When the Borderlands movie came out last year, I was like, I know nothing about this movie. I have zero expectations. I went in, I watched the movie. Not a good movie in the slightest, but I enjoyed my time in the theater. That's all I'll say. Expected some big revelation when I started playing. Something that would make me say, wow, this game is much better than I expected. But now, and kind of disappointingly, that didn't happen. I was expecting some kind of satisfaction when I started playing, but it's been 2 years since its release today, and I'm still angry at how disappointing it was. I'm not telling anyone watching this video that they shouldn't enjoy Undertale. Listen, I'm the guy who genuinely dislikes Undertale and genuinely can enjoy No Man's Sky. It still shouldn't cost $60. No Man's Sky was still dog shit back in this time. It had zero content. It was a terrain generator with no game attached to it. Is my opinion really more important than other Joe Schmo? Of course it's not. Do I think it is? Yeah, totally. That's why I'm making a video about it. I just want to show people that their quote perfect video game isn't perfect.
There's no such thing as a perfect game, or anything. Everything has flaws, and even if they're so insignificant that you don't notice them, some people are going to notice them, and they're going to be turned away by them. Whatever, go play your video games or whatever. Oh, better yet, my friend James, who you may know as The Epoch, has a video that's basically the polar opposite of this one that you just watched. If you want to watch it, there's a link on the screen or in the description. And if you want to, you can subscribe to my channel.
I have end cards disabled. James, his video didn't age as well. I think he admitted that himself. That my can we watch that for contrast? I think we should. Well, maybe not. I know that video has Undertale music in it, and we were just talking about how I do want to watch it, but I think the stream will get fucking will get nuked. DMC 5 is a pretty damn close to being a perfect game. I have not played. I have a few of the DMC games. I haven't played it. I should be fine. Well, you just talked about how the stream's gonna get nuked if you play. Streams are fine. Okay, we're gonna watch his video in comparison. It's a lot shorter, and then we're gonna get back to my videos because we're gonna get back on topic. I want to watch get to my Miraculous Ladybug review, which is I think my favorite video I've ever made. We're gonna watch the Epoch's video if it's still up.
I love Undertale. And that's not an unpopular opinion. The game's
let's compare the views. This has 8.8 thousand. Mine had 42,000 or something. Because people, a hot topic, an unpopular opinion gets way more attention on the internet. That's just how the landscape is.
I love Undertale, and that's not an unpopular opinion.
I'm not gonna be able to like pause and like give my insight on this because I don't know as much. If he was here. Oh, he's not online. I was going to call him and say, hey, we're going to watch your fucking Undertale video. Anyway. Oh, that situation was dealt with? Okay. I wasn't quite paying attention to chat. I was partially watching the video.
Remixes, fan art, and shit posts. It seems like everyone loves it.
Wow, you're making a video on Undertale?
Oh, I'm in this video. I forgot. I made a video about... I did a voice for this one.
And shit posts. It seems like everyone loves it.
Wow, you're making a video on Undertale? You're 2 years late to the party.
Well, that's exactly why I'm making this video. Because today, on September 15th, 2017, it's the 2-year anniversary of Undertale being released. And I thought, what better way to celebrate its second birthday than by making a video talking about all the awesome stuff packed inside. Also spoilers. Nowadays, it's impossible to enjoy Undertale the way it was intended because there's so many spoilers on the internet. Before you even touch the game, you probably already know.
I think at the time this video came out, that's entirely true. I think by now the dust has settled. And it was my avatar, yeah. The dust has settled. I think you can boot up that game and not get any spoilers. It's yeah, I feel like if you bought Undertale right now and went and played it, you wouldn't be like, your brain wouldn't have been poisoned by all the fan content and stuff because it's all settled down. It'll be poisoned by Deltarune shit, sure. I don't know anything about Deltarune. I'm probably never gonna play it, but Undertale, it's fine. Like it's all clean.
Frisk and Sansar. I got lucky because a friend sent me the demo before the game came out, and I thought it was mediocre. But then months later when the full game came out, I fell in love with it. And before we begin, I'm only going to be talking about the game itself and not the fandom surrounding it. The whole game is $10 with no strings attached. Most AAA games these days are like $60 with a bunch of bullshit DLC. And
I don't think price is a good factor for enjoyment of a game. I get, like, I don't want to pay $60 for a game, but I will if I know I'll enjoy the game. I don't know. That's me. I agree with it in practice because I don't like paying a lot of money for games, but the fact that I pay less for a game doesn't make me enjoy it more. There's no like direct proportion to that. At least it's not $80. Yes. I think 70 is my limit. If like Half-Life 3, my thing is I can't say that I will never buy a game for that much because if like Half-Life 3 comes out and it's fucking $80, I will 100% buy that day one. I bought Half-Life Alyx for $60. There's plenty of games I will buy for full price, but I just go out of my way to avoid it. If I know I'm not going to enjoy it, price is not about how much I enjoy it, but if I know I'm not going to enjoy it, I won't buy it for full price. Or if I'm like iffy on it. That's part of the buying process, not part of the playing process.
Undertale, you don't need to spend any extra dough on the coolest weapons or pay up to get the true ending. You pay the cost of a Subway sandwich and get the whole package.
Subway sandwich? Is that how much a Subway sandwich costs in Canada? Also, James is Canadian, so that's yeah. That's how I feel about the Switch 2. That is also how I feel about the Switch 2, and I will not buy a Switch 2. Whatever games that I want to play on that, I'll either play at someone else's house or I'll fucking what do you call it? 1337 69 420. I don't know what this one is. What is it? Wait. What is this upside down? No, I don't know. I might buy the Tony Hawk 3 and 4 remasters at full price. Is that like one game? Is that two things for the price of one? Buy a copy from my friend. Oh yeah, my friend internetarchive.org or archive.org. He owns every game and every movie.
Weapons or pay up to get the true ending. You pay the cost of a Subway sandwich and get the whole package. When the game starts, you get a lore dump of this world. Humans and monsters used to live together in peace, but a war broke out and the humans kicked a ton of ass and sealed the monsters underground with a magic spell. When you start a new game, you're shown a typical enter your name screen a lot of RPGs have, but this one has all the characters shaking, which makes you feel a little off and uneasy. You start in a small empty room.
I forgot he used my footage, so it's watching me type in Toast, which is the character name that I used.
Shaking, which makes you feel a little off and uneasy. You start in a small empty room with one linear path to establish that this is you and this is how you move around. Also, there are some spaces that you cannot walk on. In the next room, you meet a character named Flowey the Flower who acts as the tutorial. The music played is really upbeat and calm, while Flowey's sprite is designed to look friendly and innocent. It's the perfect way of relaxing your mind and making you think there's gonna be one of those hold your hands, press A to win type of games. Flowey tells you that you need to chase after these nice friendliness pellets to gain love, and as you zone out in a state of rest, BAM! You get stabbed in the back as Flowey laughs at you and calls you an idiot. This does an amazing job of doing three things. It teaches you that in this battle sequence, you are a little red heart and touching white things is bad. 2, it shows
I do think that that was a really good, like, I don't know if you would call it, like, it's like a natural tutorial. It's like, here's like, what do you call it? It's like, don't trust everybody, but it also makes you want to kill everybody in the game because it's like everyone's gonna fucking stab you in the back. Undertale subverts. It's if you play JRPGs, then like Undertale's gonna throw all of what you learned out the window. That's a good thing that this game did.
That this game isn't gonna hold your hand, and blindly trusting strangers is bad. And 3, it shows that Flowey is a douchebag.
True.
Personally, I didn't really like the ruins that much. I thought the fight with Napstablook was funny, and I enjoyed the joke with the rock pushing puzzle, but I thought exploring the ruins was boring, and I thought the background textures as well as
I didn't make a lot of points in, I didn't make a huge deal of it in my own video, but it happens in the ruins, it happens in the rest of the game. What do you call it? The random encounters, I think in any RPG, random encounters, unless the game is built around random encounters as a mechanic, then the game, like, it just takes you out of it. It's adding content for I don't know. It's like a cheap way of adding content, but having random encounters. I hate Telltale games where there's an illusion of choice. Yeah. What's the other game? I'm trying to think. What is the name? Not The Last of Us. What the hell am I thinking of? There's one that's like the decisions you make, it like tells you when you're about to make a decision. It's like this choice will matter in the future, and it absolutely doesn't. The random encounter system was more for genocide. I don't think it was necessary though, especially the enemies being invisible. If the enemies were visible on the map, then random encounters would have been a lot more bearable. Which that happens. I'll talk about Chrono Trigger again. That the enemies in Chrono Trigger are visible when you're walking around, and you can avoid them, or you can walk into them and do combat. Deltarune has visible enemies. Yeah, I've heard they really fixed that in Deltarune.
The enemy sprites were ugly. Once you reach Toriel's house, she gives you a pie, a room, and treats you like her own. It's really sweet and heartwarming until she pulls the classic "mother has a dark side and wants to keep you forever" cliche. So she forces you to fight her and prove you're strong enough to survive on your own. I really love how all of the choices you make in this game matter. This isn't like other games, where they pretend that your choices will have a lasting impact, but...
Wait, he made the same point. With The Walking Dead, even. It's like, yeah, who cares? Nobody, like, everyone fucking dies in that game. I never played through, like, all of The Walking Dead. I think I only have, like, the first episode, or, like, what is it, the first group of it? I never finished it. I also didn't... I checked out the comic from my library. I got maybe, like, halfway through the first, like, volume and didn't finish it, because everyone just keeps losing. I don't like when the main characters are only losing constantly. Anytime something good happens, they just steal it away from them. It's a pain in the ass. Just to let them relax for a little bit. Have a beach episode.
reality they didn't matter? As I'm sure you're already aware, there are 3 main endings in this game: Pacifist, Neutral, and Genocide. If you kill one person in Pacifist, it's broken, or if you spare one enemy in Genocide, it doesn't work. Even the little choices you make, like calling Toriel at the start, or how you cooked with Undyne, get brought up at the end of the Pacifist route. If you spare Toriel, Flowey makes fun of you, and if you kill Toriel, Flowey mocks you for different reasons. If you kill Toriel but then decide to go back and correct your mistake, Flowey will mock you for cheating. Or if you spare her the first time but then decide to kill her just to see what would happen, there's totally new dialogue. I really adore Snowdin. You get to meet Sans and Papyrus, who are super charming and relatable. Papyrus reminds me a lot of myself when I was younger. He's kinda goofy and he's obsessed with capturing a human to become popular. He also gets mad at his brother for being lazy, which I do a lot. Papyrus is so nice and innocent. He's the only boss in the game who can't kill you. If you lose to him, he just locks you in his garage, which you can escape from easily.
I didn't know this. That's kind of neat. He's just like kind of a pushover and he just will refuse to kill you.
I do have is that I think Sans is kind of boring of a character. I mean, he's a good contrast to Papyrus, but at the start of the game, he doesn't do much besides tell puns and...
Unlike in like Dark Souls, where one of the first enemies you encounter is the Asylum Demon, and it will turn your asshole inside out without a second thought. Meanwhile, you get a boss like Papyrus, and he's a little pushover.
That's it. Waterfall is a nice section of the game. The dark blue colors are very relaxing to look at. I really love Undyne's personality and boss fight. This section has the most badass song by far, Spear of Justice. How can you hear that and not get pumped up for a fight? Plus, the date with Undyne had me in tears laughing. I have mixed feelings about Hotland. I liked Metaton's character, but Alpheus was really annoying, especially when she kept updating her social media status. I get that it was supposed to be annoying because it's a jab at people who update their Twitter feed every 30 seconds, but goddamn, is it frustrating to take a step.
Remember when it was Twitter? Also, remember using... Does anyone even use Twitter, x.com anymore? Turtle tries not to kill you if your HP gets too low. I killed her on my playthrough, I think. If you want to, there's a playlist on my channel of like all of my most of my previous live streams, and so there is Undertale stuff in there if you want to watch me fucking play it back when I was a teenager in high school. Tutorial, yeah. Stop dead naming X. I don't care, it's Twitter. It'll always be Twitter. It's like in Chicago, dead naming is like part of my blood because I was part of Chicago. I was born in Illinois, and I've been steeped in that like Chicagoland area, and the Willis Tower or whatever it's called now was always going to be the Sears Tower. It's the Sears Tower, it's Twitter, it's the Gulf of Mexico, you know, it's all names. I have trouble with change and I'm very stubborn. Anyway.
Get an update, take another step, get another update again and again. It got to the point where I would just mash X and Z over and over again and not even read the dialogue. I really love the game show section because I straight up love game shows in video games. And I also love the part where Alpheus is directing...
It's really specific. Game shows in video games. I can't even think of when that happens. I don't know.
Through the core, but is kind of uncertain and doesn't really remember where everything is. Like a friend who's helping you through a game they haven't played in a while. The game does a great job at introducing mechanics to you one at a time. In fights, you can always see the bullets coming towards you in advance, and they follow very predictable paths, so you never feel cheated or like you had no other choice but to lose. I also like that even though you aren't supposed to fight in this game, the fighting option still feels fun. It's just a bar that slides across a scale, and you have to time it right to do the most damage. It's simple, but not so easy it's boring, since the direction of the slider as well as its speed change. I really love how the world building is handled in this game. Everything feels very real, like no region is in a vacuum. For example, the spiders are trapped in the ruins because Snowden is closing them in, and if they tried to leave, they'd freeze to death. The ice from Snowden is used to cool the core in hot lands. Toriel lives in the ruins, which is right next to Snowden where Sans lives, so they became friends by telling knock-knock jokes to each other. And
doesn't that come back? I don't know nothing about Deltarune, but apparently that comes back and they like everyone ships them or some shit. I don't know. I'm not partaking in the Sears Tower's delusions. It's the Sears Tower. I don't care if Sears like doesn't exist anymore. It's again the Sears Tower, the Gulf of Mexico. It ain't the Gulf of America. Nobody believes that. That's a bunch of not even conspiracy. That's a bunch of fantasy. We live in fantasy land. If anyone's calling it the Gulf of America, comedy dimension. People shipped Sans and Toriel way before Deltarune. People ship any fucking character in a game like this when a fandom like this exists. There will be shipping all the time. It's just a thing that you can't stop. Comedy dimension. We live in the comedy dimension. It's fine. It's not the Gulf of Mexico. No, there was some kind of executive order where the president changed it to the Gulf of America. If you go on Google Maps and you're in America, it'll be the Gulf of America. But if you're in Mexico, it'll be the Gulf of Mexico. It's weird. Because he's stupid. You can think what you want. I'm not going to get into like fucking presidential political discussions. I voted for the gay guy. That'll keep you thinking.
Snowden and Hotlands are separated by waterfall, unlike other games where you can just have a desert right next to a snowy forest. It's clear that a lot of thought was put into this world. So, this is it. You're finally gonna reach Asgore. Toriel warned you about Asgore, saying he's dangerous. Monster Kid tells you about Asgore and says he's friendly. And Undyne says he's nice but tough like a fatherly figure. This entire 10-hour adventure, they never show who Asgore is. It gives you a lot of time to sit on it and create images and theories in your mind of what he looks.
Here's something I like the opposite of this, is that in a good example I really like is in Half-Life 2. You boot up that game, you go through like the first level, and then you go out into the plaza after like learning the ropes and stuff, and you see the Citadel. And the Citadel is this huge looming structure that it exists on your screen. Oh yeah, Breen is there as well. The Citadel is always visible. Anytime you're outside, it's always part of the skybox. You can always fucking see it. And it's like it's telling you from the very beginning of the game that like you're going to the top of this building and you're gonna it's gonna be like the coolest climax ever. I don't like when characters just talk about a character and it's like, I can even say this for Steven Universe, when they talk about like White Diamond when they're before. I guess they talk about White Diamond maybe like 2 minutes before they actually show her on screen. But if they were talking about White Diamond from like season 2, but not showing anything about her, it's like, well, I don't know anything. I don't care. They're just talking about her. White had awful setup. Yeah, yeah. Because that was part of the rushed section of that show after the wedding. Ultra Kill did something similar with one of its bosses. Oh yeah, the corpse of King Minos, where he's like stomping around the lust layer, and he's like watching over you and stuff. It's really cool. I love Ultra Kill. And it's like, well, I'm gonna fight that guy, aren't I? Like that guy in the skybox. Like, is that an enemy? Is that real? Is that just decoration? Okay.
Looks like maybe he's a monster. Maybe he's a machine. And when you finally reach him, it's just this sweet old goat man sitting in a flower field. You expect him to immediately attack you with full force, but instead he just talks to you. He seems disappointed, like neither of you want to fight each other, but you both know you don't have any other choice. He shows you the barrier
I do want to get through this video. I keep pausing and talking, but I do want to get through it so I can go back to other stuff.
Separates the monsters from the surface and the 6 human souls. He says goodbye and busts out a red trident. I know that might not seem like much, but this entire game, every enemy you faced has been white, and this guy whipping out a red weapon was really intimidating. Then he smashes the mercy button to symbolize this is a fight to the death. Only one of you is gonna leave here alive. No matter what item you use or how many times you try to talk to Asgore, it does not work. Which is a nice lesson teaching us that you can't always talk your differences out, and sometimes you have no other choice but to fight back. After you win, you're presented with the choice of either finishing him off or sparing him. This is a powerful moment because it gives you the option to either kill him and complete this quest you've come so far to go home, or show mercy because killing people is
She's been on Quaaludes for 40,000 years. Oh, what's that one video? It's like, I gotta find it. Hold on. I'm gonna make a new tab. Can I bring this tab out and like try to search something? Oh, this got re-uploaded. This guy. I love this video.
Hey, the big man's back. www.thekidfrombrooklyn.com. You ever see them signs on the highway billboards years ago? I'd walk a mile for a camel. Or they used to have cigarette commercials. The guy used to say I'd walk a mile for a camel. Well, let me tell all you young people out there, the big man would walk 20 miles for a Quaalude, let me tell you.
I love this energy that this guy presents to the world. Rest in peace. What a legend.
Was bad. Either way, Flowey finishes him off and steals the human souls, crashing the game. When I first saw this, my mind was blown. I'd never seen any game do this, and it really makes Flowey feel like a bigger threat than any other. Then he destroys your save file and turns into this crazy, disgusting monster that kicks your ass again and again while mocking you. This is the only time in the game where something appears that isn't pixel art. It's legitimately terrifying. Not only that, but this is the only battle in the game that isn't turn-based. It's 100% bullet hell until the attack button appears. But when you do, it does 1 damage out of like a billion to help further emphasize how powerful Flowey is. But the souls rebel and Flowey is defeated. You can either murder Flowey and get revenge for all the times
what the fuck is a Quaalude? It was like it's like a drug. It's an old like drug that was a kind of like a cigarette, but it was I think it was just way more intense. It was like, it's like crack, I think. It's got that similar effect.
Or you can show mercy in the hopes that he can reform, hoping that deep down inside he could be nice, and the worst person can be good if they just try. If you mercy him, he keeps threatening you over and over again. But if you hit the fight button once, it kills him instantly, showing that it's easy to seek out revenge and hatred, but forgiving someone who's hurt you is really, really hard. The first time I played this, the friend who introduced me to Undertale told me you have to play the whole game without killing anybody to get the best ending. And this Flowey choice had me torn. I wanted to kill him so badly for all the pain he's put me through. But I also wanted to mercy him and give him a shot at redemption. After all the threats and his creepy ass destroyed face, I took the plunge and finished him off. His last words were,
I knew you had it in you.
which gave me a Vietnam flashback to the start of the game when he says,
What will you do when you meet a relentless killer? You'll die and you'll die and you'll die until you tire of trying. What will you do then? Will you kill out of frustration?
And I realized he was right. I did kill out of frustration. I gave up on him, and I took another life even though I promised not to. And if you reset the game, Flowey stays dead. The game doesn't need to threaten you with any,
Insane.
if you kill people, you'll go to jail warning.
Man, if only I liked the game. This would have been amazing. Quaalude is Peter's friend from next door. No, that's not Quaalude. That's Joe.
The act of Flowey simply not being where he usually is enough to make you say, what the fuck, Flowey, where are you? You're supposed to be here, and you're not here. I actually miss Flowey, which teaches the lesson that you need to be careful of what you wish for, and if you kill someone, they're gone for good. You can't undo who you are. But if you do spare Flowey, then he comes back at the end of the game with a message. He asks you, why did you let me go? Don't you realize that being nice just makes you get hurt? And he tells you if you go hang out with your friends in the underground, it'll unlock the true pacifist ending. One thing I don't like is that if you kill Flowey, there's no way you can know about the true pacifist ending other than by looking it up or a friend telling you. It's bad design because the people who kill Flowey
It is bad design. If you can't play a game through without like being able to reset your save file, that's kind of bullshit, I think. There's a few games that are like that. The Longing is one of them that they actually added an update to what do you call it? To reset your save, because there's like there's like 7 endings to that game. There's maybe more. But that game takes so long to beat that you can I got a bad ending in that game. I'll be honest. I got a bad ending not realizing that the game would just end. I feel it was kind of lame. And I'm glad that they did add that reset, because I do want to play through and try to get the best ending possible. But if a game doesn't let you do that, that's bullshit. I don't care what the intent was or whatever. If you intended people to play it once and then never again, because people are going to want to play it again. It's just how, I don't know, right to repair or something. There's something to be made here. Okay, chat. As much as I'd like to keep watching this video, I would really like to get back to my videos. Are we good with going back and watching some more videos on my channel? Because I wanted to watch my what is it? The frickin', yeah, you're good. Okay. I only needed like 1 or 2 people's confirmation to like be good to leave and go watch something else. I'll close that. I love James. The idea was to watch my videos. Should we watch the very first cartoon review that I ever did and then go watch my Miraculous Ladybug review? That is my favorite video that I've ever made on this video or on this channel. We're gonna watch Quaalude's videos? I wish. We're smoke some Quaaludes and fucking watch YouTube. I've learned that while Undertale is bad, Undertale is good. Indeed. We take the good with the bad. Okay, here's the thing. Actually, man, that might be a bad video to start out with. Oh, we'll watch it at some point. It's public. It's fine. I'll cringe at it. It's fine. Back in high school, in my senior year, I took a journalism class. I think it was called broadcast journalism. Because I think one of my school counselors, when I was signing up for class, he's like, oh, you make these videos, you should try the journalism class where you get to make like videos and like news stories and stuff. Which was cool, because there was like this, there's this school news YouTube channel that we made videos for. But then, so every like, you'd have an assignment every week. Every other week was a segment for like the news channel, and then the other week was make
what they would call a podcast, which is not really a podcast, but make a video for your own channel where you talk about something and you do some kind of journalism thing. So I had a friend who did, in that class, who did movie reviews, and then there were some girls who did like fucking makeup tutorials or whatever, or someone who did like album reviews. And I was like, well, I already talk about cartoons on this channel, so I'm going to make cartoon reviews. And so that's how I started cartoon reviews at all on this channel. I haven't gone back to it because I never had a fire under my ass to keep making them. And my Bravest Warriors video was the very first cartoon review that I ever made. We're gonna watch that. I remember nothing about this video. This is 2016. Oops. Let me just, yeah. Let's see what this is. I don't even remember.
Bravest Warriors!
Bravest Warriors. What the f is this? I should explain, this is like this old profile picture I use. It was just a mustache on a stick with some eyeballs. Cartoon.
We got our buns waxed.
Okay, you know that show Adventure Time? There's a short on Frederator's random cartoons on Nickelodeon.
Wait, dude, I'm connecting to the internet with my mind.
The show got really popular online, racking up 3 million views in a year, which is an assload of views by 2008 YouTube standards. In 2010, Cartoon Network decided to make the short into a whole series. Wait, what is this review about? Bravest Warriors. Right. You know that show Adventure Time? Bravest Warriors is pretty much the exact same thing. Follows the exact same plot. It was animated by the same studio in the exact same animation style. It was created by the exact same dude, Pendleton Ward.
Hey, what's up, guys?
So what exactly is this show about? There's not much to say. It's Adventure Time, but with more memes.
He says he wants...
The problem about having to do a review every 2 weeks, which for like a whole show, it's different for Gemology because I'm only covering one episode at a time. But for covering a whole show or a whole movie, in every 2 weeks, it makes it really shallow. And that's what ended up happening with these videos because I didn't have enough time to like let my opinions about something like fester for a while. That's what I'm worried about when I get to Lars of the Stars. Like if I make Gemology videos about that as it's airing, it's going to be weird because I don't know everything and I don't have time to let everything fester. It's not going to be the same as Crystal Sins. Doing it for a class puts a bunch of restrictions. Funny you mentioned that because I said the fuck in this video and I even censored it and the teacher wouldn't allow it. And I argued about the First Amendment and he still wouldn't take it. So I had to make another one. Also, funny thing about that class is that they did this through the entire state of Iowa, where I live, where I'm from. They did this like high school journalism class like contest, and everyone in my class got entered in that along with a bunch of other kids in the state. And mine got first place. I'd made the best videos of all the journalism kids in the whole state, and I was really proud of that, and that was like the best award that I had gotten at the time. I also that was the time where I plateaued at 3,000 subscribers, and I hadn't gained viewership until recently, really, until the beginning of this year when I started Gemology.
More carrots and breadcrumbs!
Ew! Gross!
The show focuses on the Bravest Warriors, but I like to call them the 4 Finns. There's Finn, Black Finn, Girl Finn, and Danny.
We're the mightiest heroes in the universe, Gale. If you don't want our help, up yours.
I call them all Finn because they're just Finn from Adventure Time. It's split into 4 different characters. The Bravest Warriors are there to protect people all over space.
That's the planet that we're going to. in this space exploration, space adventure game. It's gonna be so much fun. I've always wanted to meet an alien. I've always wanted to handshake an alien.
I'm using Germa clips back before Germa was like A-list streamer man. Would you call Germa A-list? I think I would. I think I would. But yeah, Germa. Yeah, I'm an old fan of Germa. Yeah, old fan.
And we're gonna be able to do that.
But they don't protect people how police or the National Guard do it. More like people who come to clean your gutters for free. The show never premiered on any TV network. Instead, it was uploaded to Cartoon Hangover. The channel that Frederator Studios uses to upload all their teen angst cartoons like this, Bee and Puppy Cat, and Super Fuckers.
We're always in our clubhouse getting high. Everybody wishes we
This is the segment I got rejected for. Yeah.
Since Bravest Warriors is on Frederator's own channel, the writers have a lot more creative freedoms.
Anyway, I feel like I want to just move on from this. This is not it's not even a good like showcase of like how I've progressed as a YouTuber, because this is just very bare bones. It's very shallow of a video. I'm even cringing. not even cringing that much. It's dull, and I see why people disliked it. I get it. And I'm glad that I've progressed in terms of not making shit so shallow. That being said, let's watch my favorite video that I've ever made, and my favorite review that I have made, which is, I went too far. I went the wrong way. It's average, yeah. Favorite video is my Miraculous Ladybug review. This review, of all the reviews I've done, has gotten the most. Other than that Undertale video, which I wouldn't call a review. It's more like an op-ed, like an opinion thing. Miraculous Ladybug. Okay, chat, how many of you have watched Miraculous Ladybug? Before I start doing this, because there's going to be spoilers. It's hard to like recommend this though. If you never seen it, it's not for everyone. I don't know how I enjoy this show. Isn't it for literal infants? That's what I'm saying. I have no idea how I got into this show. It was just like total like I don't know, a fucking butterfly flapped somewhere 10 billion years ago, and now I'm watching cartoons made for little girls. It's all right. I'm not planning on watching it. It's fine. I've mentioned Miraculous Ladybug in every stream. I don't know why, honestly. And then I made this video, and it's probably because I made this video and I really couldn't get into it. That's what I'm saying. It's weird. Also, thumbnail game. This is when I made those good thumbnails. Anything I know is Hawkman. Hawk Moth. Get it right! Fake fan! Okay, I'm sorry. You're good. That's how I wound up in the Pixar Cars fandom. Interesting. We will watch this, though. I haven't kept up with the show. I think I've tried to keep up, and then they like stop airing episodes, go on hiatus for a bit, and then I forget about it, and then I come back to it. Weird how I got into this fandom made for like infants and like teenage girls. It's strange. Okay.
Miraculous Tales of Ladybug and Cat Noir is a 3D animated superhero cartoon from France. I don't usually do this, but in this video, I'm going to be talking about this show's lore. This is your official lore warning for the video. If you want to learn...
that lore warning I like to use. That started in this video, and I was like, well, I'm going to use that forever. And I even used it in the Hot Takes video. Lore warning. And with that same sound effect. Only one person can get angry at a time in Paris. Yeah, it's nice. I feel like most people know about this show through that Jello Apocalypse video. Yeah. It like kind of waters it down a lot.
About the lore of the show the way that it was intended, click off this video and go watch this show. Then come back to this video. As popular as this show is, I haven't heard much talk about it, at least on YouTube.
I think everyone has that one show they just can't understand how they got into it. And that is definitely this for me. Like, it's not at all... I talk about it in the video, but it's not at all... I'm not anywhere near the target demographic for this show. And yet, somehow... Very strange.
Jello Apocalypse video that was just made as a joke, but other than that, I hadn't seen any reviews or anything talking about Miraculous Ladybug. Okay, some background. My ex-girlfriend introduced me to this show. I only watched like 4 episodes with her, and I didn't think much of it. I didn't know anything about the show going in, so I didn't get the appeal in it. The animation was good, better than any 3D animation on TV I've seen in a long time.
The show looks fire. I don't even know how to respond to that because it's objectively not. And it's like, it's something that I want to recommend, but it's so hard to recommend because to get to anything good, you have to slog through like 4 seasons of garbage, of absolute filler trash. And like, you can't care about what comes next if you haven't done that. It's like required reading, but it's reading Catcher in the Rye over and 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 over again. And like, there's good shit, but you have to fucking... It's a stinky swamp that you have to wade through to get to the good stuff. The food gets good at the end situation. No, it's more like a donut with a cherry jam filling. But the donut itself is like dry and stale and like it's hard to bite into, and it's like way too big and you have to like bite a bunch of it. But there's this like your friend keeps telling you it's like got this cherry filling. It's the best cherry filling I've ever had. Okay, we're gonna continue. What is going on? Why is it frozen? Hello? Okay.
Seen in a long time.
Hey there, Marinette. So, actually, I'm a huge fan of Jagged Stones, and I saw you designed his new album cover.
I did. Crazy, huh?
But not fantastic. Not like Pixar good.
You're painting a very visceral image of this big dry donut in my mind. I feel like I'm really good at that. I can just make people... If people are good at imagining random crap that I describe, I can describe really good detailed shit. Anyway.
Then one day, about a month and a half ago, I woke up and my TV in my bedroom was on because I have it set to turn on to wake me up in the morning. And there, playing on Kids Click, a channel I'd never heard of, was Miraculous Ladybug.
Does anyone know about Kids Click?
Bug and Cat are now back. We return to Miraculous
This was real. I don't remember what it's one of those cases where there's like a different block that plays on like on some channel like early in the morning for kids. I can't remember what channel it was. It doesn't exist anymore. Also, I don't have cable, so I'm not able to look it up. Or not able to fucking find out. I want a jelly donut now. I love that joke. The nothing like a jelly-filled donut from Pokemon. There's a 24-hour donut place near me. I don't go there as often as I really probably want to. If you read Catcher in the Rye that much, I hear you learn who the real world phonies are and what to do about them. Yeah, PBS Kids. It's kind of like that, where it was like, it was a kids block in the morning, and then in the afternoon it was something else. I can't fucking remember what it was. God damn it. Let me make a new tab. Wait. We're gonna just make a new tab, and I'm gonna fucking find out what that was real quick. Wait, get me out of here. No. Yeah. Why can't I make a new tab without having to drag it out? I don't know. Was it Boomerang? No. The hub was its own thing for a long time. That was weird. Anyway, we're just going to keep doing it. I'm going to look up Kids Click at some point. I'll look it up on my phone while the video is playing.
Ladybug and Cat Noir.
I decided to rewind a bit and just watch the entire episode. Then after the episode, I set my TiVo to record the whole series, and from then on, every weekday, I'd watch the episode that recorded that morning.
Boomerang was its own thing,
and
yeah.
watched every episode in order, just so I wouldn't learn the lore out of order. And god damn it, Becca, you knew this was gonna happen, didn't you? You planted the seed in me and thought eventually it would grow way out of control. I'm addicted to this show now. This is revenge for me getting you into Steven Universe and My Hero Academia, isn't it? Fine.
So you had this ex-girlfriend, and we watched a lot of TV together, and I got her into Steven Universe, and she was, like, incredibly addicted to it. And then she showed me this, and I did not care. And then, years later, after we had broken up, it was so, like, a long time, I fucking watched this show, and then I get to some of the good parts, and then I send her a message over fucking Snapchat or whatever I had at the time, and I'm like, I watched that Miraculous show that you recommended me, and it's like, it's embedded into my brain, and I don't know what I can do about it. And she's like, I know, right? There's no other explanation. It's just, it's the only people who enjoy it are addicted. I'm looking up Kids Click. Hold on. Kids Click was... What the hell channel was it on? God damn it. Part of, Sinclair? Who had... What? It was on the CW? Is that it? Was it because I was recording movies? I had a TiVo. I don't know if any of you in chat had a TiVo at any point. You would set recordings. It would switch to whatever channel, and it would record that. So I was probably recording movies on the CW or whatever, and it, like, that's what channel this was or something. I don't fucking remember. So then again, I had my TV turn on to wake me up in the morning. And yeah. It's funny how they stay in high school for like 6 years. I mean, The Simpsons exists. Bart's been 10 years old for 30 seasons. More than that. That just happens.
I guess we're even. Let me get back on topic real quick. Okay. So, Miraculous Ladybug is about two superheroes, Ladybug and Cat Noir. See the title if that's not clear. When they're not superheroes, Ladybug is a teenage girl named Marinette Dupan Cheng.
In the daytime, I'm Marinette. Just a normal girl with a normal life.
And Cat Noir is a teenage boy named Adrian Agreste. They both are in the same class in the same high school. Every episode, the bug and the cat have to fight a villain of the week type of bad guy possessed by the elusive hawk moth who wants to take their jewelry. These are called Miraculous. Roll credits. And they give Ladybug and Cat Noir their powers. Ladybug has a yo-yo with an infinitely long unbreakable string, and Lucky Charm, the power to create one thing during battle.
Lucky Charm! Well, that's an effective Lucky Charm.
Alright. Hot take for anyone who cares. I don't hate Chloe. I don't hate her. She's meant to be hated. I don't hate her. I think she's funny. She's like the Ronaldo of this show. She's meant to be hated, and I don't hate her. Anyway, she got a gun. She got like this huge fucking gun. Alright, we're gonna continue.
Well, that's an effective Lucky Charm.
Cat Noir has an unbendable baton that can grow infinitely long, and Cataclysm,
Chloe is funny. I keep saying ridiculous, utterly ridiculous because of her. It's burned into my brain.
Power to destroy one thing.
No, don't do that!
Cool. It's just you and me now. Time to rumble, soon to be rubble.
Uh-oh.
I guess I only get one shot to use my power.
Whenever they use Cataclysm or Lucky Charm, they have 5 minutes before their Miraculous runs out of power and they change back to their normal selves. Oh, did I mention this show has transformation sequences? Oh, wow. Aren't you excited to watch a full minute of Marinette turning into Ladybug and using her Lucky Charm?
I've heard his VA before. Since this show was it was French, it originally was made in France. They hired a bunch of people who have done anime dubs. Even the woman who plays Marinette in this show was in Steven Universe. She was one of the Zoomans. I can't remember which one. The main woman Zooman. I forget. Who gets chosen for Greg.
Okay, remember Ben 10? Do you know how every time he transformed into an alien...
That is the cleanest fucking transition I've ever done in a goddamn also the Kiss cartoon logo, ignore that. That's the cleanest transition I've ever done in a video.
Okay, remember Ben 10? Do you know how every time he transformed into an alien that hadn't been seen in the show, there was this drawn-out sequence of his arms getting buff and his eyes turning color, and it was really cool? Miraculous Ladybug is like that, but they do it every episode, and it gets old pretty quick. They do it with the powers, too. Cat Noir just can't say Cataclysm. He's got a pose with a cool background and stuff.
Cataclysm!
I guess it was worse in Code Lyoko whenever someone got virtualized, but I didn't complain about that.
Oh yeah, I reviewed Code Lyoko a long time ago, and I feel like I didn't do that show justice. That is one of my favorite shows out of pure nostalgia. There's a few things good that I can recommend about that show, and I've gone back to watch it even like recently within this past year, and it's very, very, very hard to recommend to people just because it's so specifically made for me, if that makes any sense. It's to pad the runtime and save money. I entirely agree with that. Because back when I made this review even 6 years ago, holy shit. At that time you didn't like see Miraculous Ladybug toys in Walmart and stuff, but now you go into the toy section at any store and you see like a miraculous Ladybug like mask or like a yo-yo or like a doll, like a Barbie or whatever, and they have a lot more money. In fact, the show got like a visual overhaul in the last season, which was cool. Like when YouTubers have super long intros, exactly. It's the same thing. But they know people have learned the meta about YouTube and that people will click off. If they see an intro that's longer than like 2 seconds, they click off. And when I made the Gemology intro, the entire thing is 10 seconds. And I put the whole thing in the first video that I used it in the Onion Trade video. And I watched it back, I'm like, that's way too long. People are going to click off. That sucks. So I shortened it. It's only like a second long now.
I can guarantee that most people who watch this show don't watch it for the action. As smooth and stylized as the animation is, the action is not the strongest part of the series. All of the episodes play out pretty much the same. Someone gets upset, Hawkmoth gives them villain powers, Ladybug and Cat Noir fight them, break the thing, let the butterfly out, everything goes back to normal. Pretty formulaic. Now this show takes place in Paris, France.
Paris, France.
The City of Lights, the capital of romance. The writers have to make use of their setting, so there's a lot of romance in this show. That being said, I would say the main appeal of the show is the romantic subplot, but that would be a lie. The romance in this show is the main story.
I stand, this is my favorite line that I've ever written for anything. The romance, like, what is it?
The whole superhero storyline is just a backdrop for a love story.
The romance is the main appeal. The romance is the main, like, it's not the subplot
The romance is the main plot. Them being superheroes is a plot device or like a subplot. All of the villains they fight is the subplot. The main plot is the romance. And if you can't get behind the romance, you cannot enjoy this show. That's just how it works. And I get comments, and I think they're insane people that down here, people say, like, I watch it for the action. I'm like, what? Like, go watch something else for the action. The action in this show sucks, and I'll admit that. I watch it for this, like, them too. I'm not a shipper. I get to that point. Hold on, let's just let the video play out.
It's actually kind of impressive. Marinette is in love with Adrian, but forgets how to speak English
or French if you're not watching the dub
whenever she's near him.
May I?
No, go away. No, I mean, go ahead. Please stand. I mean, sit.
Thanks.
Cat Noir is in love with Ladybug, but she keeps rejecting him because she's in love with Adrian. So this whole thing is basically dramatic irony, the cartoon, with everyone watching knowing who these two really are, but no one in the show realizing it. Now here's the obvious plot hole. How can these two not recognize each other in and out of costume, especially when they're working together to fight bad guys every day? How does Marinette's friend, Alia, who runs a blog about trying to find out who Ladybug actually is...
It's so stupid. Yes, that is... It's so entertainingly stupid. I cannot understand it, and I still like it. I still love the show. It's crazy.
Who literally sits right next to her in class, not realize that Marinette is Ladybug. Well, there are two answers to that question. The first and laziest one is magic. The costume is magic, and it messes with how
why is Miraculous Ladybug on my screen? Because we're going through a bunch of my old videos. I feel like I have to explain this when new people come in because they're always confused. We're watching old videos of mine. And one of my favorite videos that I ever made was actually my absolute favorite video that I've ever made was my Miraculous Ladybug video 6 years ago. And yeah. So we're just watching that because it's one of my favorites ever. The show is not one of my favorites. The show is good. I love it. But I cannot say that it's one of my favorites. There's no way.
See you. The second and more accurate answer is shut the hell up. It's a cartoon. Just deal with it and watch this scene. Look how cute it is.
Sometimes you just have to set aside, like, well, why can they not tell each other is in and out of costume? It's like, why does this not work in the magic system? It's like, who cares? It's just let it happen, you know? It's made like you can tell because you're an audience watching, you know that they're the same character, but they don't realize it. And it makes the show better. I say, shut the hell up and watch it. It's cute.
Thank you for saving me. People are going crazy over this ad.
You started an ad? I had no idea. That's awesome.
I don't know about that. In fact, it's really quite embarrassing.
Hey, all good now. I better get going.
As involved as I've gotten into certain fandoms, I've never really been a shipper. I've never paired two characters in a show or book or movie together that weren't already written to be in a relationship.
I like when Black Noir unlocks the black hole power and almost kills everyone. I like that too. I like when the whole world ends in a cartoon like this. They've done it a few times where they like almost or actually did end the world. They also have time travel in the show, which you guys know what I think about time travel. It's almost always messy. But it lets them explore shit like ending the world. It's fun.
I've watched Adventure Time, My Hero Academia, and Star vs. the Forces of Evil. 3 cartoons notorious for having fans shipping characters left and right. Finn and Bimo, ship it. Uraraka and the Principal, ship it. Marco's mom and the Goblin Dog Goblin, ship it. I always thought stuff like that would ruin the original writer's visions for those characters. I've never got the appeal to it. Now, it's hard to avoid that if the writers of the show are essentially popping out of your screen and telling you to ship 2 characters.
Those two are made for each other.
I ship these two. Ladybug and Cat Noir, Marinette and Adrian. It's impossible not to. They're written that way. I come back when every new episode comes out just to see any advancement Marinette makes towards Adrian, and usually her failing, which is equally entertaining. Maybe next episode Ladybug will take up Cat Noir on one of his date offers. I don't know. I'm never patient enough to wait for a new episode. I even watched the French dub of one episode because I was too impatient to wait 2 days before it came out in English. I actually started to learn French later that week. I don't know, the language just struck a chord with me somehow. Even if I don't end up going to France again for an extended period, at least I can use it to impress people at parties, maybe woo a cute girl with some fancy romantic sounding words. Je te dis le français, tu veux aller à ma maison? Side note, I would...
Okay, what was I gonna say? When it comes to shenanigans, the show I think did the most interesting application of that is JoJo. I have not watched any of it. I think JoJo fans are the same as Undertale fans in the fact that they're just, not to say that everyone's obnoxious, but they're just obnoxious enough that I don't want to, I don't want to get anywhere near it. But I do want to watch that show because I've had plenty of friends recommend it to me and say that it's good. Have you ever seen OKKO? I have seen some of it and I never kept up with it. That's yeah. Skip part 3 of JoJo. Don't skip to part 3. What? Wait. Skip part 3 but don't skip to part 3. I'm lost. You guys said like the same thing. I don't know. I did go to France and I didn't speak any of the language. I also haven't kept up with any, like, Duolingo did that thing where they fired a bunch of their contractors that they were working with and instead replaced them with ChatGPT, and I'm like, I don't know. Watch part 5 and then watch it in order. Okay, it's like Star Wars.
I was in France about 2 or 3 years ago. I didn't speak a word of French. It would be really useful if I did end up going back to France, that I'd know some conversation skills, know where to ask where the bathroom is, know which subway to take, stuff like that. I got impatient enough to join this Miraculous Ladybug Discord server.
Don't watch part 5 first. What do you want me to do? I'm just gonna go watch the show in order, I think, because I'm confused. I'll just watch it all. I'll just watch it in order. Fuck it. It makes it less confusing for me. Just watch it in order. Okay, I'll do that. That's what I'll do. Watch it in order.
Where they announce when and where you can find new episodes. And about then is when I had a really heavy realization.
I guess what I was in would be considered and smart boy class. I don't know. I don't even know what I just read.
Oh, John, hi. Hi, John. Hi, SourceMaster. Hey, Peter Pan.
Someone else explain it because I'm not explaining it again because I don't know. I don't like.
I love this part of the video because I go into this chat. I don't say anything. I just go in because I know what audience it's. It's all teenage girls, and it's like, it's hilarious that I'm okay. This other guy, like just John Ramos guy, is probably also my age, and also a man, but I go into this chat, or I go into this Discord where they announce new episodes and stuff, and it's like, it's all teenage girls. Like, what the hell am I doing here? It's strange. It's like walking into a Claire's, like going into a mall as a 20-something-year-old man and going into a Claire's. That's what this show feels like.
Equations, I just can't explain them.
I am not in the right demographic for this show. All the people in here are like teenage girls. I'm kind of glad I changed my profile picture to this like joke image before I joined, so at least I kind of fit in. It's like if I went to my cousin's 16th birthday party and I'm surrounded by all these girls talking about teenage girl shit like high school and boys and Tumblr or whatever. I don't know what teenage girls talk about. But
the difference being here about the birthday party thing is that it's like it's my 16-year-old cousin. I was invited because it's their birthday. I belong there because I was invited. The difference between that and this show
is what I said about going into Claire's as a 20-something-year-old man, is that you're not supposed to be there. This is not the store for you. You're not here to get your ears pierced. You do not belong here, and I did not belong in this show's fandom, but here I am. I don't know.
The point is, I'm at this party, I'm a 20-year-old man just sitting here. I can't talk to anyone because I don't know what these kids like, and I don't want to feel like a creep.
Marinette, do you want to know my secret?
Adrian, I'm
A 20-year-old man on the internet who watches cartoons.
I feel like a creep watching this show now. I never had that issue with My Little Pony or Star vs. the Forces of Evil or any other cartoon, because everything I've watched all had a decently sized adult male fan base. I don't think I've met a fan of this show who's male yet. Doesn't matter the age. There's like no talk about this show on 4chan, other than the occasional episode release date and circle jerk about how all the costumes could be used as fetish gear. Nothing. I'm the only adult man who cares about this show, aren't I? I feel like I'm living on Mars or something now. I don't blame teenage girls for liking this show. High school romance is a lot of girls' dreams, and with a kid like
I met that
Adrian,
John guy, John Ramos or whatever his name was. Yeah. I didn't stay long enough to meet him. I just heard that he was there. He was probably a lot younger than me. I think he was his high schooler or whatever. I don't know.
Hell yeah, if I were a 15-year-old girl with a mysterious but not goth blonde male model in my class, I would have a big fat throbbing crush on him too.
Adrian.
And in the Cat Noir outfit, look at those muscles. Ooh, I get it. Teenage girls lap this stuff up. I'm clueless though. Whenever Adrian and Marinette get close, why do I get all giddy? Why does this kind of thing just rustle my jimmies just enough to make me keep coming back? Not just come back. Come back with excitement. Come back every time a new episode is released. Come back to that Discord server with all the teenagers in it. Why do I keep watching this scene when Marinette first gets a crush on Adrian, or this other one where they dance together and Adrian goes in for the hug and the music is just right?
I broke people with this. I got comments about this, that this segment like broke people because it was edited just perfectly enough that, yeah. What did the chat say about this section? People are like, I did a premiere for this one. Is it broken? Hello? Live chat? It's broken. Shit. Never mind.
Then I realized, this show only appeals to teenage girls, but the show also appeals to me, so simple logic tells me that I'm just a teenage girl at heart. But that still doesn't make sense, because I'm me, and I'm not a girl. I watch pro wrestling, I play video games, I have facial hair like crazy, I do man stuff. This show is the only girly thing that I do. And I found this Reddit post. This guy is the only other adult male fan of Miraculous Tales of Ladybug and Cat Noir on the entire planet, and I think he explains it better than I ever could. I can put it on and unwind.
No, this section of the video is bullshit because I still don't know why I like this show. I still don't know why I don't know. I got into this by accident. I have no fucking idea. Entirely like cosmic impossibility. Statistically, this would have never happened. Except like a monkey sneezed like 6,000 years ago onto a tree, and that tree grew a fungus on its trunk. And that fungus, like, broke that tree down into something. Some butterfly effect shit. And then I'd watch this show, I guess. I don't know.
Solve any cryptic messages. I'm looking at you, Gravity Falls. Nor do I have to worry about some dark secret waiting to ruin the fandom. Steven Universe. I really couldn't have worded it better. I don't have to work to watch this show. I don't have to try to work out how the magic works or what kind of secrets the characters are hiding. Hakamoth is Adrian's dad. We've known that since season 1. If the show was gonna have any secrets or plot twists, it would have been that. And the writers just gave it to us. Steven Universe kept secrets to the very end of the series. And Gravity Falls, that show's still a mystery to me, and the finale happened 3 years ago. I still can't wait for this love square to go somewhere though. Never in my life have I been more invested into a fictional character's relationship with another fictional character. Not even a relationship. These characters aren't even in a relationship yet. I kinda wanna see what comes first actually, the relationship or the identity reveal. My money's on the relationship, followed by 3 or 4 more seasons before the identity reveal at the finale of the show.
I'm on pace for this being true. It's a pretty clean big bad evil guy outfit. Let me go back. Hawkmoth is one of the coolest fucking...
to the very end of the series, and Gravity...
He's kind of badass,
that
honestly.
show's still a mystery to me, and the finale happened 3 years ago.
He's also voiced by, what's his name? Keith Silverstein, who's in, like, fucking everything. He's in, like, Skyrim and stuff. I'm still confused on Gravity Falls. Yeah, because that show, it's not like Steven Universe, where it was made from the ground up with everything, like, planned. With, like, the overarching plot planned from the beginning. No, that show, they started and they didn't know what to do, so they just started doing it, and then they were like, oh, let's do this, like, 3-episode finale thing. He looks like a... I don't know what that word is, because he made asterisks. He reminds me of that guy from 9th Grade Ninja. I don't know what that is. Interesting. I need to make sure... Hold on. Let me make a new tab, or a new window. I remember how to do that, because I can just Control N. 9th Grade Ninja. What the hell is this? Maybe? I don't know what character I'm supposed to be looking for here. Wouldn't it get irritating that the characters obviously are meant to get together, but it's just teasing you the whole time? I guess that's the appeal. You're exactly right. That is the appeal, that they keep fucking teasing you the whole time. It's like, will they do it? Will they fucking smooch in this one or no? Is Marinette gonna admit her feelings, or is she gonna stumble over her words again like a dunce? The answer is she's gonna stumble over her words. They did, I know you can do fans. I'm gonna say fan service, and I'm not talking about like fucking like bikini outfits or whatever. I'm talking fan service like they're giving the fans what they want, which is, in this show, romance between Ladybug and Cat Noir. They did so many. Every season they would have at least like 3 fan service episodes where they would tease it really hard, or they would make it like you'd think like, oh, they're gonna have to reveal their identities now or whatever, and it's like, they don't, and they never do. I mean, they do eventually. Spoilers, whatever, because they had to progress the show at some point. It was, I think, the showrunner handed it off to someone else at a certain point to be like other showrunner, even though he still writes for the show. That guy's an ass, by the way. He hasn't done anything like controversial or anything like that, but he just talks shit on the internet all the time, and it's hard, it's annoying. Ow, my cat, he climbed onto me. Okay, he's gonna lay on my lap for now, I suppose. Okay, I need to cut his nails. I can see why people would like that, but that plot bugs the hell out of me. Watching Sailor Moon was torture for that. I have not seen Sailor Moon. I'm gonna get my cat to meow into the microphone. Come on. All right, meow into the microphone. Nope, that's not a meow. Okay, whatever. Now he's squirming. You just have to like squeeze his paw or whatever until he meows. The car has left. Okay, I'm gonna continue on. We got a good look at Hawkmoth, Keith Silverstein here, who's in fucking everything. He's like male Tara Strong. He's in every cartoon ever, and video games. Based on what I have seen of this show, you should give Sailor Moon a watch. I might do that before I end up watching JoJo, honestly.
I still can't wait for this love square to go somewhere, though. Never in my life have I been more invested into a fictional character's relationship with another fictional character. Not even a relationship. These characters aren't even in a relationship yet. I kind of want to see what comes first, actually. The relationship or the identity reveal. My money's on the relationship, followed by 3 or 4 more seasons before the identity reveal at the finale of the show. The rate these episodes come out, I'll be in my late 30s when that happens. So in the end, do I recommend the show? Well, that depends. Are you a teenage girl? Then yes. Are you me? Then yes. Are you literally anything else? Well, I'd say watch like 4 or 5 episodes, give it a chance. Maybe you'll like it, maybe you won't. This show definitely is not for everyone. But like I said, it might surprise you. You might find this show oddly charming like I did. I will say that Miraculous Ladybug is definitely one of my favorite shows.
Throughout like my career of reviewing shows, I've gotten one person to watch this show. My friend Kane, he goes by the rarest Gino on YouTube. Check him out. But he's the only person. I think he did the same thing as me. I recommended it to him, and he watched like 2 episodes and then kind of just let it play in the background while he was doing other stuff. And then he just like sat and watched the whole thing. That's how I did it. It's like I let it play in the background. It was playing in the morning when I wake up or whatever because my TV was on. And I just ended up watching it and liking it for some reason. I don't fucking know. It's crazy.
At the moment. It's always nice to be part of a fandom, and since the Brony and Steven Universe fandoms have died off in the past year or 2, it's nice to be part of something new. Meet some new people, have some new adventures. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to find something else to watch, since it takes like 2 decades for an episode of this show to come out.
Yeah. Steven Universe fandom is still kind of non-existent currently, other than what we've got on here. Back in its prime time, compared to what it was in, 2015, 2016, the Steven Universe fandom. Also, how can she do that with her leg? That's crazy. I wish I could do that. I wish I was that flexible. Damn. I'm waiting for Lars of the Stars when we can go back to like really episode by episode fucking cool. Like, I tried. Have I tried? I can barely touch my toes, man. I'm not gonna turn my camera on for this, but I can clasp my hands behind my back. Like if I do one hand over my shoulder and the other hand from below, I can like clasp them together, and I'm flexible in that way, but I cannot like bend and touch my toes. Like lower half of my body is not flexible, upper half is pretty good. Steven Universe fandom hopefully revives itself. I hope so as well. When Lars of the Stars comes out, first of all, I hope that they do they don't release it all in like huge batches like they did the original show, where they would drop like 10 episodes at a time and then go on hiatus for 2 years. I hope they do week by week for a whole season. Which, if anything on Amazon Prime is to go by, I think it will be like that, which is cool. When I was a teen, I could put my leg behind my head, but that was the extent of my flexibility. I think maybe I can do that? I don't know. I still need to work on touching my toes. I feel like if I just stretch and like try it for like 3 days straight, not like straight, but if I do it for a few days, I will probably be able to do it. Opinion on the new Donkey Kong, if you care. I don't. I haven't played it. I probably never will unless I get to play it on someone else's system, because I'm not buying a Switch 2. That's just that simple. I don't want to buy a Switch 2. Anyway, that's the end of the video. There's just an outro at the end, and I'm gonna fucking where I do like a cringe voice by one of the other characters in the show. Okay. I think I have one more in me. Maybe 1 or 2. I'm gonna think. This is my worst review that I've ever done. Redline. I feel really bad about this one, and every time I talk about old reviews, someone talked me into this. I really love Redline, and I rushed the hell out of this video, and I did not do it justice. That movie is fan-fucking-tastic. If I were to delete any of my reviews and redo them,
it would be this one. Because I don't think I did it justice at all. Downloading Steven Universe episode leaks in random languages. Listen, I did that with fucking Miraculous Ladybug, because, you know, it's an internationally made show that's animated in Korea, it's written in France, it's fucking broadcasted in like Brazil or some shit. So I would end up watching dubs of it in like Portuguese and stuff. I've had friends who've been trying to get me to watch Redline. This is a movie that I didn't know this when I made this review, and I feel bad that I didn't. It took 9 years from inception to release to create this movie, which is insane. Like a movie, animated movies have a turnaround time of what? Like a year, maybe 2. This is 9 years. This is the craziest, coolest animation I've ever seen, and it's yeah. We're gonna watch House Bingo next. Okay. My greatest video of all time, House Bingo. Development hell. It's not even development hell. They were cooking the whole time. It's like aging a bottle of wine. It just took that long to make it that good, you know? We're watching House Bingo. I'm executive decision. We're watching House Bingo.
Certain cartoons so goddamn predictable that I made a
We're not watching House Bingo. You can watch that on your own. Maybe someday we'll watch an episode of House and we'll all play House Bingo and everyone will get their own card and everything. No, we're not watching House Bingo. Steven Universe is over. This is a video that I don't really stand by. I feel like this is one of those, Steven Universe is over. That video is one of those things I talked about. It was really shallow because the dust hadn't settled yet. And I hadn't had time to form like a proper opinion. This was made like a day or two after, when was this? February 21. When did the show end? Season 5. It was like a month after it ended. Oh, this is my stream. Okay. So, yeah, the dust had not settled yet. House Bingo Bongo. Then we got the movie in future. Yeah, it hadn't been announced there. I need some water. Hold on. There's a few videos on here that were also college. I went to college for digital media, and some of these were college projects. Like this was a motion graphics thing, and I like motion graphics. It's just way too time consuming for the videos that I want to do. I'd love to include some kind of motion graphics stuff, but it's like, is it worth it? The time investment? I don't know. My thoughts on Steven Universe Future. Now, is this a video that I stand by? The thumbnail the day after is crazy. Wait, which one? Talking about animal entrails all over the road. Yeah, that's a story. You can go watch that one on your own. I'm not going to play it because there's nothing visually interesting about it. It's just like a story time of me driving, and then driving through, like, they closed one lane and there was just like animal viscera like everywhere. Not like just one. It wasn't just like one deer. It was gross. College was so long ago. I know, right? I graduated college during fucking COVID, where I like kind of coasted through the final semester because it was like, well, we don't know how to assign, we don't know how to do assignments when everything has to be online. So like, here's your degree. I don't fucking know. We're not gonna watch the Steven Universe Future one. I don't think that's gonna be a good one to end off. Let me think. What's a good video? This was the last episode of Crystal Sins, wasn't it? Alone Together. No, okay, it kept going till future version. Oh yeah, I made a joke about how I paused the episode and I left it paused forever. That was a good joke to end that video on. Flunked out of college during COVID. I do not blame you. That would be an incredibly tough time to like be in college. Steven's eulogy. We're gonna watch this hour and 13-minute long video, okay? With my friend Kane. No, we're not. Let me think. What's a good... Should we just watch, like, the first episode of Gemology? Should we watch a Gemology video? Which Gemology episode do you guys want to watch? I think we're going to watch one, and then I'm going to go to sleep, maybe. Or I might go get donuts from that 24-hour donut place. Full circle. Yeah, we're coming back to current year. Any ideas? Any specific episodes you want to watch? Do you want to watch the unreleased episode of Crystal Sins that I have? I have 2 unreleased episodes of Crystal Sins on my hard drive. That'll be a Patreon thing at some point, I think. I'll just put those up. I'll put those up when I get to those episodes. Rose's Room was the first one I saw. We're not watching Crystal Sins. It is lost media. I can prove that I have it. Let me open up. No, those are family reunion photos. You don't need to see those. Let me find it. I know where it's in storage. It's part of my old computer. Oh, did I copy it? No, it might be on a portable drive. Oh, wait. It's here. Chat, it's real. On the Run and Horror Club. They're real. I can prove it.
No past, no future, just the open road. Whoa. How are they gonna get out of this one?
Steven talks to himself.
You're back.
These are real. These exist.
We didn't get to see.
Yeah, I'll play the other, just a little bit, preview of the other one. I know no one cares about Crystal Sins, and I know you shouldn't.
More like comedy club. Better hurry up. I'm gonna lock you in.
That's either not possible or a violation of fire code. Either way, sin.
Okay, why didn't you release these? Because I had this weird plan. This was really stupid. Was preparing for volume for Loud Mic. No, when were these made? I forget. December 2, 2023. I had this weird plan that I wanted to finish season 1 of Crystal Sins and then release them all at once, like all in a day, or like I called it Crystal Sins the movie. And just jam them all into one big video and release it all at once. The reason it didn't come to fruition was because this is right around the time where I stopped my Adobe subscription because all of these files were Adobe Premiere, like they were edited in Adobe Premiere, and I kept using the same project files over and over. And now I don't have Adobe Premiere and I can't like use those project files. So oh Jesus, I'm sorry. That was awful. I did that right into the microphone. Shit. Is Crystal Sins what they call rage bait? It's a parody. And rage bait is just another word for trolling. I learned that recently. I didn't know what rage bait was for the longest time. I'm becoming a fucking old man now because I didn't know what rage bait was, and it's just the new word for trolling. I'm sorry about the burp, damn. Yeah.
I will these will go up for fucking April Fools or something, or I'll again just upload them. I think I'm just going to upload them to Patreon when I get to those episodes, and they will no longer be lost media. They are actually like lost media now. How many sins did I get to in this one? Fucking
Garnet have. Oh, that's.
Wait, do we just want to watch these? No, right?
Cat, what do you want?
Can you guys hear the cat when he starts meowing? Okay, I think we're gonna end up. No, we're not gonna watch these. Maybe if I do a movie night in the future. Here we are in the future. We're gonna watch the very first episode of Gemology, I think. Sound good? We can't hear the cat. Lame. I feel like I'm talking
Steven
a million
Universe.
miles an hour. I should do, or maybe I should commission someone to do subtitles for these video. I think it would be nice. Someday we will watch the Lost Media Crystal Sins episodes.
Is a show that I have a really long and complicated history with. I don't want to call it one of my favorite shows. I think that would be kind of watering down my opinions about the show too much. Back in 2015 which was nearly 10 years ago now that I'd actually say it out loud, I started a series called Crystal Sins, many of you may know, which also didn't give a good idea of what I actually think about the show either. Overall, I still really enjoy Steven Universe, but there are things that I think are fantastic and other things that I think make the show worse overall. My plan with this series is to put all of that under a microscope, episode by episode, just analyze everything that I can. No matter how many times that I rewatch these episodes, I always find something new. No matter how much I talk about it, I feel like I always have something to say. There's always something to discuss about this show, and that's why I love it. So what better name for this series than Gemology, the literal study of gems? If you're here for a scathing, negative review of the show, you're in the wrong place. The same goes for anyone looking for me to sing the constant praises for this show. It's not going to happen either. I'm here to give my honest opinions and point out some things that maybe you haven't noticed, or maybe you have and you're a bigger fan of the show than me. Anyway, here's episode 1, Gem Glow. Okay. I planned Gemology from the start with the intent of doing one a week. I had all that idea, and I wanted to go in with no biases. I know I have my own biases. There's no way to not have biases. What do you call it? I didn't analyze Amethyst backwards speech. Yeah, but someone's fucking done it before. I didn't want to do it. Also, I edit with fucking Blender, and I don't know how to reverse audio in Blender. Genuine problem that I have is that Blender has dog shit audio editing. It's sad. I hope they get better. Even since I started editing from the beginning of this year, they had video editor upgrades or updates to Blender, and it's gotten way better. They got better titles and stuff. You can do audio editing in Blender? No. You can't. You can mute audio, you can change the volume. That's pretty much it. The video section is really good because you can do like compositing and shaders and all sorts of cool shit. But then the audio is just not there. I feel like if Blender had audio, like better audio editing and had an actual library of audio effects that you could do, like compressors and stuff, it would be the greatest video editing program that I've ever used. But until then, it's the greatest video minus audio editing that I've ever used. It's got some really cool features, but it's lacking in that front. That's my wish list. That's my Christmas, birthday, Hanukkah wish list. What was I gonna say? Okay, Crystal Sins. I'm intended to go in without
a explicitly positive or negative outlook on the show. I wanted to analyze it as I see it, to give my opinions on the show itself and not what a YouTuber tells me to do. So no Lily Orchard bullshit. I avoid all talk about fucking the negative, which is Lily Orchard, and the positive, which is the round table. I'm going in, it's my thing, it's my opinion. Can you start doing 2 episodes a week? No, that's not gonna happen. I say that it's not gonna happen not because I don't want to. First of all, I don't want to rush videos. Second of all, I don't think I can trust myself to do 2 episodes a week. I feel like that's a recipe for disaster with my fucking ADHD riddled brain. I would fall behind immediately. So 1 a week. 1 a week is fine. Every Wednesday. It's not going to be it's probably never going to be 2 a week. If I do 2 videos a week, I have a second channel and I've been wanting to do stuff on that video or stuff on that channel, but it's going to be unrelated to Steven Universe. Cornbread, how's it going? Hi, SourceMaster, you're one of my favorite YouTubers. Thank you. I appreciate that. We're watching the first episode of Gemology. I think we should play the video now. The season 1 intro. I don't know how many people prefer this one, actually. It's interesting that Steven only gets 1 line where he sings lead vocals and then saying his name at the end, of course. The Gems get most of the lead parts, which I chalk up to Steven's voice actor being young and inexperienced at the time, which is fitting for how the show starts out. I also tried to find some sort of symbolism or character correlation with the colors of the scenes, but no, the colors are just pretty. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, chat. I'm going to run a poll real quick. Which intro do you prefer? We're going to do season 1, season 2 onward. We're going to run a poll. We're going to see definitively which intro people like the most. We got a lot of townies in the intro, too. There's Greg and Connie, obviously, Lars and Sadie, the cool kids, Kiki and Nanafois, Mr. Smiley, and Onion. Sorry, I had to. There's going to be some jokes that bleed over from Crystal. That was a Crystal Sins joke, and every time I saw Onion, it would just be a sin automatically, and I would just say, Onion. Where's my future option? Damn. Really, some future apologists in the chat. We're talking about the real show, the main show. Sins, and I'm not sorry. Also, what the fuck is up with Sadie? Looks like she's seen a fucking ghost.
This can't be happening! This has to be a dream! Lars! Please tell me I'm dreaming!
You want to talk about characters' first lines? Actually, do you want to talk about the first scene of the whole show? This is just the worst way they could have gone and introduced a main character. If you stop this show right at this scene, your impression of Steven would be that he's a petty, whiny kid who complains when things don't go his way. It's not that it's bad characterization, it's just the wrong characterization. I made this into a short and it popped off like crazy. This was like a day after I uploaded the video. I was like, oh, I'm going to make a short out of this because you can do that. And I think that's where this whole series like kind of took off, because then the algorithm grabbed onto it and it was like, well, people are going to want to watch this. This is going to be good. This is the next overanalyzing Avatar, which I want it to be. It's cool. I think Steven in the first episode was in the first scene ever it doesn't do the show justice at all. It's very upsetting to see what they did to my boy. It's very upsetting to see what they did to my boy at the end of the show too, cuz damn. In future, where he's at the lowest point and then doesn't get any character development, and then he says he's all better and he's getting therapy. That's part of the reason I gripe about Future so much. Treely Games, thanks for the $5. If you don't retire or live long enough for the reunited episode, can you get married during it as well? If I meet the perfect person
and we decide that this is something we can bond over, then sure. That sounds like a good idea. I'm not going to retire before Gemology is over. There's no way. Thank you for the super chat. I'm going to end the poll. I think we've decided that the Season 2 intro is the better one overall. They speedrun him in Future. You know what sucks is that they were still doing filler in Future. And they had to rush Steven's character. It feels bad. I don't know. It'll take me around 3 years to finish. Yeah, I understand that. And I'm okay with that. First of all, it's job security, partly. Second, I want to pace myself. I want to take a whole week to analyze each episode. If I'm not taking that long, then I feel like I'm going to rush it. Teenage Steven in Future is kind of a different character. That's kind of what I don't like. I don't know. Season 1, as obnoxious as Steven gets, he's not like this the whole show.
Get off me, man. I'm stuck in here.
And there's a, I would say, half good first line. Lars is a dick. That's his character. He doesn't want anything to do with Steven's nonsense.
I'm sorry, Steven.
Snow Day slander. I'm not even slandering it. There's filler in the show. Even that episode I like. That's one of the only good episodes in Future, I think. And it's filler. I say this every time I talk about fillers, that not all filler is bad and not all the bad episodes are filler. I say it every time. And people don't get it. Filler needs to happen, but they put filler in the wrong places. And that's why people complain about it. And when you only have 20 episodes in a season in the whole epilogue series, why are we doing filler? I don't know. It's weird.
I guess they stopped making them.
And then Sadie's is just as bad as Steven's. You don't get anything from this line, but maybe you do. I don't know. She's working retail. That's just what you say when you work retail. It doesn't tell me anything about her character, though. Lion Liquors gets a cooler that big in a donut shop? No wonder Cookie Cat went out of business. Damn. Also, this soda fountain only has 4 flavors. I bet it's Coke, Diet Coke, Sprite, and that last one better be Dr. Pepper.
Why don't you make some with your magic belly button?
How much do the townies really know about the gems and magic? Maya, I like your comment. I love early Steven because he's a kid and acts like a normal young boy. Later, this thing of being all-knowing emotional guide feels weird. I can make that adjacent. I can like bring up something to compare it to is Avatar: The Last Airbender. Is that at the beginning of that series, you meet Aang, and he's like this goofy, fun-loving, adventurous kid. And all he wants to do is explore the world and like see the sights and do the coolest shit. Like ride the fucking elephant koi or whatever and fight sea serpents yeah, it's like he's just a kid. And over time you get to see him develop into like you realize that he's like running away from his responsibility as the Avatar. Like he's the guy who has to save the world. And you get to see him kind of accept that over time as episodes progress. And by the end of the series, he's like, I'm gonna step up. I'm gonna be better than the Fire Lord. I'm gonna fucking defeat him without causing any death. Which is cool. But imagine Aang for the entirety of Avatar: The Last Airbender being this goofy, fun-loving kid who all he wants to do is explore the world for the whole show, never like changes from that. And then in the last episode, he still says, I want to defeat the Fire Lord without killing anybody because I'm a better person than him. That's what Steven Universe Future feels like, where this like whiplash like tone shift. And I know it's because of the time skip. And I think that's the problem, is that there's a time skip. It's rushed. And you have to fill in those blanks yourself instead of the writers doing it naturally, which is lame. I'll have plenty of time to like let my thoughts fester before I even get to Future for Gemology. So I'll be able to talk about that more. Okay, here we go.
in general. I can get from the way Lars is saying that Steven probably just gloats about having magic powers despite not ever having used them, but like the crystal gems deal with monsters and stuff in town, right? So the townies must know about magic a little bit. I'm not trying to make a point here, I'm just thinking out loud. Steven's humming the Cookie Cat song that he sings later. Kind of a cool, simple little detail. This is a really cool shot. If you were watching this show for the first time and you notice this, you would immediately have a ton of questions. Why is there a giant statue here? Who built it? Why? How old is it? Who is the statue depicting? Why does she have 2 faces and 6 arms? She has 8 arms. Anyway, I think I've decided who's built it, and it was the humans that landed and got saved by Obsidian during that, what is it, historical friction? Is that the one? Where Jamie puts on a play. It was Mayor Dewey's ancestor, and the humans that were saved were like, okay, we're gonna build a statue in your honor. I think that's what ended up happening. Can't be Bismuth. Everyone says it's Bismuth. It can't be Bismuth because Bismuth never met Amethyst, and Amethyst is a part of Obsidian, so not Bismuth. Mayor Dewey, yeah, it was one of Mayor Dewey's ancestors. Okay. I thought that play was fan fiction. No, it was Pearl. Like, Pearl wrote it, basically. Maybe it was maybe she was playing herself up, but she was trying to make it historically accurate, I believe. Why does Steven live in it? I know that the temple was there in the intro, but this is the first time, I think, that you really can tell. This is like a Statue of Liberty-sized project, though. It's a little bit smaller. You know who else built the Statue of Liberty? Was humans. So, like, this isn't totally unreasonable, I think. That Steven lives there. Let's talk introductions again. This is how you do character introductions. Despite only Amethyst getting a line, you can get an idea of who all these characters are together. They're fighters, they're experienced, and they get into weird magical situations. Amethyst's first line is just chef's kiss. It characterizes her perfectly. The only reason I did first lines in this video, and I kind of gave up on it because none of them were any good, was again, overanalyzing Avatar. The whole series is based on his thing. It was I took a lot of inspiration. I took a lot of notes out of his things. He talked about first lines in both The Last Airbender and Korra. And I decided, well, I want to try to do first lines in this one. But then you meet characters and they just kind of like, they already know Steven and stuff. And it's like, I don't know. It wasn't as good as I thought it would be when I started it. The French built the temple? Possibly. I don't know. Is Mayor Dewey French? It means they had to sit fused as obsidian for who knows how long. That's possible. I don't know. Imagine that. Imagine, like, sitting as obsidian and then Amethyst is like, I'm hungry. And then they fucking pop apart and then Amethyst goes get something to eat. And then they're like, okay, we can fuse again. We're gonna fucking let's sit here again and let you keep doing the statue. Okay, here we go. All this crazy shit is going on in Steven's house and all she has to say is...
That's Steven.
I'll talk about their weapons and fighting styles in a little bit, but I want to point out the different unique sound effects they each have. Sound design is one of this show's greatest strengths, and it perfectly is put to use in the... They could have done sketches as a reference? Yeah. I'm sure that's the case. It's before, like, cameras, I think. Maybe, I don't know. Before cameras, they probably drew her, and then we're like, okay, here's the person, we're gonna make a temple out of it, or we're gonna make the temple into a statue or something. I don't know. These weapon sounds, there's something about them that just sounds like they're made of magic, like they're not just real objects in the real world. Just take a listen. I bet you didn't know crying breakfast friends was an episode 1 thing, did ya? Alright, I'm not going to do first lines for the gems other than Amethyst because they get their own introductory scenes that kind of takes that place. Not to mention the first lines they have in this scene are just kind of dull. In this one shot, you can see the glow stick that comes back in Bubble Buddies. As far as I know, it's only in this shot and doesn't come back until then. This is also the first of many... Okay, chat. Hold on, I'll be right back. This is important. Okay, I'm back. What I have here is that plastic container from the Bubble Buddies episode from my freezer full of glow sticks. And we're going to do the glow stick update because I did one a while ago. I pulled one out and it was dead. It was totally fucking dead. Unfortunately. So maybe that was a fluke. It was only one. I'm gonna set these out. Actually, maybe I'll sit on them like a fucking chicken and let them warm up. And then I'm gonna turn on my webcam. By the end of this video, hopefully they would have unfrozen, and we'll get to look at them. But my hopes are not high because I took that one out and it was totally, utterly ridiculous. Ridiculous. No, it was dead. Maybe the fat ones, maybe the ones that are like a lot bigger might be glowing, but the like the bracelet type ones, when I pulled that one out, it was already, it stopped. When it thawed out and it got warm again, it was not glowing. So we'll see. These are going to sit on my desk. Maybe I'll sit on one of those. I'll put one under my butt and I'll sit on it. Did I put it in the microwave? No. God no. That's recipe for disaster. Okay, we're going to go back to watching this. Back until then. This is also the first of many times that they do the star eye thing that's kind of unique to this show. I think it happens way too often for me to point them all out. That would just get annoying.
We went out and stole a bunch.
I went back and paid for them.
Where do the crystal gems get money? I know that's something I asked back in Crystal Sins all those years ago, but I still don't know.
I'll also get this container
I'll be on the
back.
lookout for any cash changing hands throughout the show.
I'll have to listen to this back because I'm using the same microphone and I'm using the same interface and I probably have it set to the exact same volume. Does it sound, when I'm talking in the stream, can you guys even tell me apart? Because this is so recent. I mean, it's like half a year ago, but it's still recent enough that I have the same inflection and whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll fucking mention it. The Cookie Cat song is foreshadowing a bunch of future plot and parallels. Rose Quartz is back.
You can barely tell. Okay. Very slightly. I do feel like my line reads have gotten better, even for these.
Story. I get it. I've heard it a trillion times, and if I don't mention it, then you people are going to have a conniption in the comments.
Try and summon your weapon.
Anyone else think it's kind of weird that it's implied that the easiest gem ability is summoning a weapon? When you get farther into the show, there are plenty of gems that don't use or maybe even don't have weapons. Maybe I'm looking into it too much. Maybe I'm giving the writers too much credit by assuming they knew all that was going to happen when they were writing episode 1. Alright, Pearl's introductory scene. Even her going first shows that she's quick to take charge when she can. The way she explains her technique shows that she's precise and elegant. She's not a natural-born fighter, so she puts a lot of thought and effort.
Does Amethyst get paid for the wrestling thing? If I recall, she did it for fun. I'm sure she did it for fun, but also got paid if she's winning all the time. There's probably people betting on her and stuff. There's probably money to be made there, and she probably did it for fun and was like, oh, cool, I get paid as a bonus. That would be awesome. Okay, this glow stick is really cold and I'm sitting on it. This is, I know it's not a year after, it's not a year like the, glow stick in Steven's fridge and when Connie dropped it or whatever, but
Can you pause the stream? No. Into summoning her spear, but she's experienced enough that she's an expert at it.
Did Pearl tell you the pedal thing?
I like the stream will probably be here when you get back. I'm probably not going to be done yet. This is like the longest stream I've done in a long time. This line, weirdly enough, I think it's my favorite line in the episode. It's just enough to tell you that Amethyst is much younger and more inexperienced than Pearl, and that she tried to teach her the same way. Also, Amethyst's introduction. First of all, note the location they picked. Pearl picked this spot with significance and beauty. There was clearly some thought put into it. Meanwhile, Amethyst probably didn't pick this spot behind the donut shop next to a dumpster. Amethyst and Pearl are character foils. She improvises, she's impulsive, she's sloppy. Of the 3 introductory scenes, I think this one gives the best characterization. And finally, Garnet's introduction. If you're at all familiar... I do like this. What do you call it? L ads? Shit. What was I gonna say? I don't even know when ads play. I wish it would tell me. And I could, like, delay them or whatever. I can't remember. I'm not pressing the button. It's got, like, this automatic thing. I don't fucking know how it works. It just picks whenever it feels like it. On Twitch, they tell you when an ad is gonna run, so you can pause it and stuff. But on YouTube, they don't tell you. I don't know. It just happens. I'm sure it does tell you, but I don't have the right window pulled up. Can I like see that on here? No, it doesn't say. Anyway, we're gonna continue on. I do like the characterization with the with showing. With the locations that they do. Can I play ads? I can. If there is a button to like to put an ad in, and there's a button to delay them, but I don't know when they're gonna happen. Okay. Earlier with this show, you'll probably remember that Garnet had a really rough start at the beginning of this show, and this scene kind of reflects that. All you can really tell about Garnet from this scene is that she's more than she seems. Talking about cosmic fucking universe bullshit. It's really hard to pin down what this scene is trying to show the viewer. In general, I think the writers didn't know what to do with Garnet before Jailbreak. This is the only scene, I think, in the whole series where Garnet summons her gauntlets with a completely different sound. Which is really weird because the correct sound was used when she unsummoned them earlier in the episode.
The whole thing was my idea.
It was everyone.
Garnet's gauntlets summoning is my favorite. Next to the warp pad, I think it's tied with the warp pad, is my favorite sound effect in the entire show. Yeah, it's... I remember having a... Don't be saying that, David Gaming. You can't say that in... yeah. What do you... I was going to say, when I was a kid and I played a lot of Skyrim, or I was a teenager and I played a lot of Skyrim, there was a Garnet's Gauntlet mod, or like a Steven Universe weapons mod, and you could like cast a spell and it would summon Garnet's Gauntlets, which were like the most overpowered fucking weapon in the game. Because it was a modded weapon, it would like Fusro Da them every time you punch them, so it would just make them go flying. It was crazy. Warp pads would be such a good game mechanic if Steven Universe didn't already do it. Didn't they? Isn't that like a thing? Like already they... Like any fast travel, it's just bonfires in Dark Souls, basically. It's been done. That was done way before Steven Universe. I'm sure warp pads were made in reference to some video game. I don't know. I'm sure, like... Am I thinking, like, Metroid did it, right? Steven Universe perfected it. I think in terms of, like, TV or movie media, they perfected it, yeah. But in Dark Souls, it functions the same, kind of.
Everyone's idea.
2 shots, my bad.
I mean, you're one of us, Steven. We're not the Crystal Gems without you.
I think this uplifting talk the Gems have with Steven wouldn't really work without the music. That's another strength this show has, good background music. Otherwise, this scene would just be the Gems.
Doing a Metroid has a fast travel system? What am I thinking of then? Something that had like a... I know, I've been playing dead cells, and they have like the portals that open. You get to them, and then you can fast travel to any of the portals. Star Trek, yeah. But the teleporters in Star Trek work from the teleporter to pretty much anywhere, and vice versa. In Steven Universe, it is very much just between the warp pads, which is cool. It's the coolest fucking teleporting system in fiction, I think. And I don't think it's unique to Steven Universe. I don't even think Steven Universe did it first. In fact, I don't think Steven Universe did basically any of its magic first. It perfected a lot of it, though. Fusion, warping, summoning weapons, I think all was perfected in this show. Yeah, I don't know. Aren't Star Trek's teleporters just cloning devices, or is that a theory? No, it's I think, is this Star Trek? Yeah, in the Strange New Worlds, there's a plot line where the doctor on the ship he has a daughter, I think it's his daughter, who has like this terminal illness. And the way the teleporters the way the transporters work in Star Trek is that it puts you in some sort of like a data state. Particle based. Yeah, they like transmit your particles. But it can like store it in a buffer. So that's what's happening with the doctor's daughter, is he's like storing her in like the buffer, and if they ever like reset it, then she'd die. But she's stored in there because she has this like terminal illness or something. I can't quite remember. Strange New Worlds is probably the best like introductory Star Trek. If anyone hasn't seen Star Trek and they want to start on it, that is the one to watch. Watch that one, and if you like that one, go watch The Next Generation, because they have holodeck, and I love the holodeck episodes. Okay, we're going to continue. Actually, yeah, we're going to continue. To him so he doesn't cry. More evidence toward my theory of the writers not knowing what to do with Garnet, with her having no lines in the scene. Just start with the original? No. The original's really rough. I feel like if in current year, if you're used to modern TV, then definitely start with Strange New Worlds. I think it's one of the best Star Trek series. And then Next Generation. Or, Next Generation for sure. The original is great. I don't disagree, but I don't think it's good for new people.
Steven, it's a shield.
This line always bothers me. Why does Pearl say this? Is she stupid? It's not for the viewers, the ones with functional eyes at least. It's almost like she forgot what rose quartz had for a weapon. Maybe she delivered it differently. It is a shield, as if she wasn't sure but suspected it would be the same. Oh, can't have that sticking around for an actual fight. This show has a problem with making the characters really dumb as soon as action starts happening. It doesn't happen all the time, but enough that I can talk about it when it does. This scene could have been over in a second if the gems just summon their weapons, but they don't, because the episode needs Steven to destroy his Cookie Cat freezer. In a few of these shots in this scene, you can see the low-res design that they use for the long shots throughout this show. I don't know what to call this. I know it's like, people say it's the Save the Light design. Which, sure, yeah, they use those eyes in Save the Light, but they used it in episode 1. It wasn't made for the game. Kind of weird. I started with The Next Generation and liked that a lot. That's also the one I started with, and I also liked it a lot. I love Jean-Luc Picard and Data and Worf. Maybe not so much Worf, but I like him a little bit. Steven didn't know what a shield was, so Pearl was telling him it was a shield. I mean, you might not be wrong about that. I mean, Steven might be that stupid at this beginning. Low level of detail models in video games, in video game terms. Yeah. Do they do this in later seasons? I don't even remember. I can't think of a time to like check that they're shown at like a distance. I think they I think this stops at a certain point, and I cannot remember. My Life as a Teenage Robot also did these simple designs when the characters are small. I kind of vaguely remember that. I didn't watch a lot of that show. And I never like went back to watch it after being a kid. I have only seen it when I was a kid, but I remember, I know what you're talking about. I've seen like screenshots or clips of it. I knew some people who hated this look, but I don't really have an opinion on it. It doesn't bother me. It's definitely better than that cracked out Sadie from the intro. God damn, why did that animation look so good? Admire this smear frame with me real quick. Yeah, that's nice.
Cookie Cat Crystal Combo Powers, activate!
Yeah, this is definitely one of those things that would have turned a lot of people off of this show early on. This kind of stuff sticks around only for a few episodes, but it's enough episodes that people got a chance to form their opinion and move on to something else. I'm still trying to find that moment where Steven stops being fat. Steven was fat for a really long time, and I don't know if there's like an exact moment where he stops. I think he gradually gets more fit as he does more gem shit. I don't know. Steven didn't go to school and didn't know that some books had orders. Well, his frame of reference for book series was the No Homeboys, which you could read in any order you want. So when he went and read the one Connie recommended to him, well, I don't remember what that one was called, but he didn't realize, because he's like, oh, it's a series. You can read it just like it's a series like the No Homeboys. You can just kind of pick it up and read it however you want. It's like Goosebumps, you know? You can pick any Goosebumps book up and just read it, and you don't have to like read every other one from before or whatever. Same with a lot of Stephen King novels and stuff. Okay. I feel like that's entirely believable when you get to that part that his only frame of reference was the No Homeboys. Okay, here we go. Alright, I'm going to talk about weapons finally. This shot is also really cool, so I'll leave it up while I talk. If it's not obvious already, the Gem's weapons are reflections of their personality. Pearl has a spear, something that has a fine point and needs precise handling, which reflects her carefulness and elegance. It's also a weapon that can keep enemies at a distance, which is more important to know once you find out that Pearl wasn't originally a fighter and wouldn't have any need for a weapon. Amethyst has a whip, which is not as powerful as something like a sword or anything really solid and rigid. If you aren't careful, it can do plenty of collateral damage or miss entirely, reflecting her impulsiveness and tendency to do half-ass things. Garnet has gauntlets, which are made for hand-to-hand combat, getting really close to her foes, which is, for lack of a better term, intimate, maybe personal. It makes sense when you learn more about Garnet being a fusion later in the series and what goes into that. This star wipe is iconic at the end of most episodes, so much so that it's removed in certain episodes for a certain effect. I'll point it out in the future because there's usually a good reason story-wise when it's not there. I think this episode is a pretty mediocre first episode to a show. It ticks all the boxes for a first episode. It shows the main characters, it shows their powers, and it shows what kind of stuff to expect in the rest of the series, but is that enough? Why are they posing just to show off? I think it's the same reason they pose when they warp sometimes. It's just, to look cool because they're superheroes and they're gems, magic alien gems. I don't know. They pose because it's a cartoon sometimes. It is a cool pose, though. I like Pearl especially. She's very, very, very elegant in this one. I don't know why Amethyst has her foot up. That's not very characteristic of Amethyst. But Pearl and Garnet are, like, very, perfect character. Like, you can kind of glean stuff about their character from this shot. They also want to make Steven feel bad for not having a shield. Maybe not. Probably not, in fact. Okay, we're going to finish this off. I'm going to show off the glow sticks and the fact that they're... Actually, I'll... You may be surprised. Okay.
is, for lack of at the end of most episodes. So much so that it's removed in certain episodes for a certain effect. I'll point it out in the future because there's usually a good reason story-wise when it's not there. I think this episode is a pretty mediocre first episode to a show. It ticks all the boxes for a first episode. It shows the main characters, it shows their powers, and it shows what kind of stuff to expect in the rest of it. The gems are subtly, psychologically torturing Steven the whole show. They are master gaslighters. I think Pearl is the gaslightiest of them all. Because she withholds information constantly. Okay. The series, but is that enough? I say no. Steven is annoying, Garnet has no personality, and when there's a fight, it almost seems like these magical characters are completely useless. This episode is... I will say they are not as completely useless as they are in the pilot. I feel like I should have like harped on that a little bit more when I covered the pilot. That, what do you call it? That they are entirely useless during that fight, except Garnet, because Garnet is supposed to be the best. It's very strange. Look, Steven, we have cool weapons, while you are a fat kid who can hardly summon a saucer. But also we choose not to use our weapons because we're a bunch of idiots. I don't know, fucking... It's like a fine mesh screen. People who don't like the episode are going to get filtered out here and now, and people who see the potential are going to keep watching. I am going to keep going, though. I still love this show, and like I said at the beginning, I keep finding things to talk about every time I come back. I don't know what else really to say at this point other than to like and subscribe to help the algorithm. Maybe if I get going, I might be able to make these every week, like back when I used to make Crystal Sins. I'll tell you, that was a pretty fast... I started doing them week by week immediately. And I think that did wonders for the algorithm. YouTube really likes consistency. The YouTube algorithm, rather, really likes consistency. Even if I'm not uploading every day, the fact that I can put out a video every week and everyone knows exactly where and when they can, what day and what time of day they can find a new episode of Gemology, it does wonders. If you're ever starting a YouTube channel, do a series. First of all, don't start a channel if you don't know what your, what the, like, scope of your channel is and what, you gotta plan shit ahead. You can't just go in not knowing anything, and that was my downfall for a really long time. Because I didn't have a plan. Okay. We are at the end. Everyone has seen this one, I'm sure. Way more fun when I don't have to try to be negative all the time. Anyway, next episode is Laser Light Cannon. I'm excited. Okay. Let me add my camera in. I hope my camera's even plugged in. Video capture device. Device is... Whoa, it's so crusty. Why is it tiny? Give me 720p or something. I don't know. Whoa, okay, there we go. Hello, chat. It's me, face reveal. Why is the frame rate... Okay, 10? Why does it only go up to 10? That's a bunch of bullshit. It's like pipe wire. Okay. We're gonna not use that one. That's a weird... That's pipe wire is bullshit. We're going to do this one. It's still... Okay, there we go. Now it's good frame rate. Hello, chat. This is me at full 30 frames a second. We have the glow sticks. I have guitar. Wait, I could play that someday. I'm looking over here. I look like a nerd. You do look like a nerd. It's just the glasses, man. That's all it is. Nice shirt. It's... Yeah, cool. I am the nerd, I suppose, with the shirt. If I was wearing a Chicago Cubs shirt, I would only be a sports nerd and not a Zelda nerd. I'm gonna scoot over this way and bring my microphone over. Hello. Okay. Here are the glow sticks. You can't tell what's going on with them right now. Here's all these things. Okay. I'm gonna take these out because I don't need them for right now. We're gonna turn off the light and see, I'm I'm just gonna pull the string because I gotta keep my fan running. It's hotter than Hades outside. We're gonna see if the glow sticks are glowing, and they are not. Let's turn this one off too. That's the only light you're seeing these by are the light of my monitor. They are dead. They're totally room temperature right now. They are not glowing in the slightest. Who's that peeking through the door? It's probably the cat. You know what? I'll go get the cat. As a consolation, here's the container they were in. It was very out of focus. Clasp my hands behind my back? Oh yeah, I can do that. Check this shit. I can just do that. Can you guys do that? I can do it both ways. Some people just can't. They can't, like, reach behind their back. I'm flexible. Okay. I will be back. I'm gonna get the cat before I end the stream. One sec. Okay, cat reveal. Cat reveal. Here's the kitty. Oh. Take a look at this cat. Look at the camera. He is large. He is 13. He is very old. Not very old, but he is an old man. Yes. He is fat a little bit. Look at him. Feet. We're going to sell your feet pics. Anyway, can I have it? No, that's mine. Just joined in time for the cat reveal. You joined right in time for the cat reveal and me saying that it's time for me to go to sleep. It's like nearly midnight right now, and I'm getting tired. So I've been live for like 4 hours. It was good time. It was fun. I like doing this. We only got to do like 5 videos in 4 hours, which is fine. I like to talk about my old videos sometimes. We'll come back. We'll do this again sometime, but next stream will probably just be the discussion stream that I normally do. So yeah. My cats were kicked out when they became adults. That's kind of lame. All right. Anyway, that's all I got. I'm going to go to sleep because it is kind of late. Yeah. Next episode comes out on Wednesday, so house guest. If you're not a patron, that's when house guest will be out then. Are gems affected by guns? Thanks for the $2, Tree Lee Games. I don't know. Maybe in Lars of the Stars we'll get that answer, or Lars gets a Glock or an AK-47. All right. Good night, chat. I'm going to click this end stream button. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Oh, wait. There we go. Okay, bye.